Welcome back, everybody. Yes, we're back to the table, and we are going to be getting started here today. All right, so I figured out the latency issue that we were having on the last stream there when y'all was trying to chat, but I figured it out, so we should be good to go for this one. But I got some sweet stuff to show you guys, man. We got an entirely new physics engine. I think I got it. So this is a great thing because yeah. So once I'll just flip this thing over so you can see it really quick. We got this onto Apollo. So basically what is going on here is there is an entire system here for the shocks, right? So I found this system to be a lot better than what we were using before. The last one was a little bit on edge for us, and that wasn't just a pun because it says edge there. Yeah, but I'm going to show you guys really quickly that this does work very good, and I'm pretty sure we've gotten the physics down very similar to Richard Burns. So we had to set the velocity, and we had to add parameters for an angular turn and drag, which I didn't know the game simulated until I dug into its game files. But as you see, now we have this, we're turning around, we can hairpin really easily. We got a whole shock system now, which is great, right? So now we can tighten this up a little bit so it's not so, for example, rocking around like that and stuff like that. But what we'll do is lower that, and we'll make the suspension a little bit tighter. But we got the particles and stuff like that on the tires. We can hairpin very easily. It's going very well. This took a very long time to get down. But I'll just run through it with you guys really quickly before we get started here building the rest of the systems. So you're probably wondering why I'm all the way back at this step compared to the last one. In the last one, just for some reason, I corrupted the data somehow late at night, so that one went right under. But the good thing is that we were able to salvage most of the code. So we do still have our spectators and stuff, though. We'll probably just create a couple new scripts for it. So if I go into here, we do have a car body right here. So this is the car body that we'll be using, and we're going to be able, the reason why I made these without tires is so you can swap out the car body, right? And then you'll be able to swap out the tires as well. So it's all going to work on one chassis, one collider box. So once I go into the buggy, you're going to notice that there's no collider in here yet. We will add that. So what we're going to do is create an empty, and we're just going to call this collider for now. And then what we're going to do is go into the scripts. We're going to create a new C script, and what we're going to call this is spectator. And what I wanted to do is basically one-to-one scale it, or sorry, not scale, one-to-one dynamically make it like Richard Burns, but we're going to update everything by quite a lot. So the spectators and stuff, instead of them just running off of the road or the photographer, these spectators, if you crash, they will run up to you and push your car back onto the road. So I went into the Richard Burns community like 20 minutes ago, and it did not go well. They didn't give a fuck what I had to say. So maybe we'll just make a different game that's not Richard Burns, since that community is awfully salty. But yeah, I think this will probably go whatever way we like it. But anyway, so let's get started doing that really quickly. So and another thing we're going to do is jump over into Blender, and we're going to get the Subaru body in here, the one that I really wanted. I did manage to model one up. It took a couple days to do so, but we do have a good STI model for it, so it's great, and we have a full livery, right? So the livery, I was able to find an external UV map from another model, so that was great, and it wraps perfect, oddly. But that's brilliant. So what we're actually going to do is start writing up that script. So what I'm going to do is blow up this text box. I just want to make sure you guys can see this text box when I blow it up, unless I do have it tucked down somewhere. There we go. So this will be our little code box that we're going to be doing our scripts in as usual. So what I'm going to do is go over into Visual C, and we're going to write out something to do for the spectators here really quickly. So let me just jump over. All right. And then we'll do two player position. If the player has stopped. So that's one thing we got to figure out here. So again, we're going to go through the region zones again. So I had a little bit better of an idea. So the good thing about code is we can do this in 1,000 different ways, right? So The one of the ways I had an idea, because we do have to tell the crowd what side of the road we are going to be on. So we do have to create a Bezier curve, and we have to make it go straight up the center, all the way around our stage. That should be relatively easy to do, and then we're going to create regions on each side of that Bezier curve. So you're going to have two blocks on each side. One will be red, one will be blue, and that's just to determine for the spectators what side of the track you are on. So when you stop for a certain amount of time in a zone, they will move up to you and then start pushing your car. Um, I think I'll make it 1 second, but we'll give it a little bit better logic when we do this. Okay, yeah, okay, move timer, and we're gonna set the move timer for 1 second. So yeah, we got that done. So I'm gonna blow up that script here. Everything came up green in Visual C, so I'm gonna run you through this really quickly. So don't mind all of this. This is just for the game logic itself. But right here we have the move variables. The move timer is set to 0, so I just had that set to 0, so when we do stop, it just starts playing. Because remember in the last one we were making, we were having a little bit of an error, and as you see, we do have a CS5 error right there. So let's see what's going on there. One second. I think it had something to do with all that top shit I wrote there, so let me... Oh, sorry, I'm doing this. I forgot that we were classed as Unity. That explains everything. Yes, okay, yeah, sorry, that was my fault. I forgot that we were doing this in Unity, because I was playing with Godot for a little bit earlier. So what we're going to do is go back into here. I'm going to blow that text box up. We're going to get rid of this because that was for something completely different. So we're going to hit save now, and this error should go away. Okay, good to go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to start with basic placeholders. So showing people in the Richard Burns community, basically, yeah, hey, come on over. We're going to be doing some streams. I'd like to get some feedback on it. Everybody just wanted to laugh and poke fun at it. But okay, yeah, you go enjoy your 30-year-old game. Well, we go play something much more robust. But anyway, so what we're going to do is do the pace notes. Again, that was very simple. We can probably just get our script over there. But we're going to be attaching these to just placeholders like I was just mentioning. Seems like everybody that doesn't know game development thinks this is funny for some reason. It's just how you do things. So you have a visual representation of what's going on. Like, I don't see how that's that funny. But anyway, so we have the object here. So this will be our spectator. So all we really have to do is replace the mesh with an animated spectator. And right here down at the inspector options, let me just make sure I pulled the script down for you, that you'll see that we do have a player and an object to move, right? So this will be the object to move. And then we're going to move to player. And this should move to our player once we crash and stop for 1 second. So we're going to go into here. I am going to find in my list of things that are unlabeled the car. So we're going to follow. The player's going to move to that. And then we need to figure out, this is the cube. One cube. Okay, now that that's set up, so again, any script that I use here, you guys are more than welcome to use for yourself. So I'll blow this script up one more time for you to see. Basically, what this does is when you stop, or right now, when you stop, the whatever this script is attached to will move to your position after a certain amount of time. And that will act as a reset. And the reason for that is, so say if you crash into a corner and there's no spectators, the spectators can come up and reset you, right? So it's going to add a little bit more risk to your crashes. So if you crash near spectators, they're a lot closer to you. They can push you onto the track faster, right? But then again, we still have to determine the left or right of the track because we don't want them to run into the middle of the track and then stay in the middle of the track, right? We want them to return to the left or right without going over a bump or something back onto the track around the hill or something like that, right? So we have to be specifically define it. Yeah, I can show you what it looks like right now. I'll show you right now. We got to test the script anyway, so we're just going to stay stopped for 1 second and see if this block moves to us. What the fuck? I've never seen that a day in my life. That is so funny, dude. What the fuck? That is not what I told that to do. Oh, that's so funny. Dude, we gotta try that again. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I coded this the same way we did the last one. I forgot to make it move slowly, right? It just teleports under your car and starts lifting you into the sky. Watch. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Watch. It's doing damage and everything. That's so funny, dude. Okay, so we gotta stop this guy from causing havoc on us, right? So we're gonna disable the script for now, and we're gonna go in and tell him to move slowly, but don't move underneath the fucking car, right? Because we don't want that happening when we're on stage. You don't want your spectators carrying you into the heavens. But now I can show you the script. It feels really good. Now, yeah, all we really have to do is just swap out the sounds for some rally sounds. We can do that in FL Studio. And then we just need to create some physics materials and just attach them to certain points of the ground. That way, say, like, you hit an ice patch or one part of the dirt's wet and stuff like that. You know, you can, well... Yeah, it's got good it's got crash sounds. Oh, shit. I got all the sounds in place, right? So everything you see and hear will probably just be a placeholder for the meantime. But everything's going well. We got our exhaust. We have our ALS system in here. We just have to get up to changing gears. I have it set to automatic. But every time you pretty much switch gears or bounce down a gear, it's going to let the ALS spit fuel into the engine, giving you that gunshot sound everybody likes, right? So now that we have the spectator pretty much coded up, that's good to go. So we're just going to refine him a little bit. I'm going to jump on over, and we're going to make it so that thing moves slowly. And I also know we can try one more thing as well, since I forgot to do it. On the cube here, we do have to add a rigid body to give it physics. So now that we have physics, we can set its mass, but we'll worry about that later, and we're going to set it as kinematic so it doesn't tip over. And we're actually just going to see if that actually fixed the problem without it teleporting. Exactly. So it's not going to move yet, which is great. I can also set it, so what we're going to do as well is set this to a collider, right? So we're going to set this to have a view collider that's pointing out, and we're going to do that for the photographer so he can see you coming, and then he'll run off the road. So we're just going to refine that script there just a tad. Okay, and we're just going to blow up this script again, and we're just going to re-chunk it in with the new half right here. We're going to save it. And now this player should move to us if we stop at a certain amount of time. If not, it's just all about colliders and stuff like that, and we can just play around with it. But as long as we can get this cube to go to us after we stop, we've pretty much achieved our goal for now, and then we can move on to the next system. So let's see what happens. Doesn't seem to be moving, and that could be for a very easy reason, is he could be clipped into the ground, like so. So we're going to make them float, and we're going to see what happens. Let's see, are you going to come to us, or are you coming to us? I can't tell how fast he's moving, if moving at all. Very interesting. So, okay, we'll just go back on that. Oh, one thing I probably forgot to do as well is take our buggy. Okay, we have it set to player. That's very important that we do that. So I'm going to add a vector 3 dot move towards. That way it moves towards you, right? So we're going to bring this back up. If you copied this, you can junk it and you can just take this little bit. That's all this one is. And this should just move that to the position. So we're going to see how that works now. If not, it has an issue to do with the rigid body. But it's very easy to figure out, right? If not, we can just get our old script and just work off of it. But I'd rather just keep trying to make it over and over and see what happens. Let's see if we get closer. Okay. Come on here. Box glider has material rigid body is kinematic. So let's see what happens if we remove that, because... Oh, I had the script disabled. That's my apologies, guys. I'm an idiot. We do want a kinematic. Yeah, okay, now we have 2 more inspector options. I completely forgot I did it. We have a stopping distance from your car. In case you don't want certain spectators to push your car, you can stop them. And your walking speed is going to be 2. Now this should work. It's because we turned the script off to test the driving there. So now, as you see, we have the spectator moving towards our car, which is great. He should just start pushing us, but... Alright, there we go. We got a spectator, guys. That's how easy that is to do. But one thing you're going to notice right away is when this guy is coming into our position, he's headed towards our origin, which happens to be right on the bottom of the car. That's why when you see him traveling, he goes under the map a little bit. But since that system's done and out of the way, we can forget about it, because what we can do now, for example, is just copy this. Pretend these are spectators, right? And we'll add a script to make them jump up and down and stuff like that. But these are just placeholder spectators for us right now. So say if I had my spectators grouped out like this, they all should move towards you if you stop at a certain amount of time, and they will push you back onto the car. Or, sorry, back onto the track. And they should not clip through each other either. They should have awareness. There we go, a little bit more force on that push. So that's working really well. So what we can actually do is just disable this for now, because we're not going to be using these guys just yet until we get some more stuff done on here. So we're going to obviously sculpt up the map a little bit. I can do this right now by adding a texture very quickly. So I'm just going to do that. Paint texture, and then we're going to go to new terrain layer, create a terrain layer, and we're going to find some grass. It's simple as that, right? And then what we're going to do is come down and we're going to scale this grass up. So if I click on the grass, I can then set like it's metallic and stuff like that, right? We're going to set this to 12 by 12. Maybe even 20 by 20. Something like that for now, right? We just want to get some grass texture onto the ground. That way we can see what we're doing. And then we're going to stamp the terrain as well. So let me just take this. I don't know what that collider is. That's okay, though. We'll just take that and take all the cube. And what we're going to do is raise this up off the ground, because what we're going to do is we need to add height to our map, right? We can't do that on a flat plane. It just will cause a lot of clipping issues. So what we're going to do is add mass to the entire terrain. We can do that just by clicking. It's very simple. But let's find a new start point for our position. Yeah, well, I'll show you what all these other radiuses are here shortly. This is so like detection, right? So you're gonna have like split points, and I want everything to be like synchronized up, right? I don't want things to be wrong. So what I added is like a double system for pace notes. This basically checking each time when you go through that you're heading up to the correct thing and it's displaying the correct split, okay? So that's very important when it comes to routing. And we can't lose fundamental cost of what we're trying to do is achieve the Richard Burns feeling, which we really do have here in the car. So I'll make a demo available for you all to play probably after the stream. You can just download, open it. It'll probably only be like 500 megabytes, and you can see for yourself. So what we can do is actually just start creating some dirt. Mind you that we're not actually going to be sculpting the map yet. But what we can do is, like I said, stamp the terrain. Or sorry, set the height. So you won't be able to see the set height here because we don't have a set height yet. We're going to set this to 12. And you'll see it there. Turn up your opacity. And you'll see it a little bit more defined. So maybe we'll go to 20. Try 40. And then now we can just stamp, right? So we're going to take this, stamp, and it should set that all to that height. And there's a reason why I'm doing this, is so we can add definition to the terrain, obviously. Actually, what I should have done, sorry. Let me see. Stamp. So this will be it. We're going to use the stamp instead. So we're going to use this stamp. As you see, it's a lot better. And each time we click, it's not going to add more definition to the mountain. Because right now, we're just trying to get a nice, even, flat layer of the terrain. And then we can start sculpting it from there, right? So we can just actually just paint the terrain. And basically what we're doing is just giving it a height map. A fake height map. I'm not actually sure how high you can go in this Unity editor, but we're not planning on going very high, so we're going to come back down. We're going to re-dig up our stuff from the grave here. We're going to bring this up, and we're just going to leave these here for now. So this will be our starting point. So the reason why I did that with the terrain is so when I go back into, you know, do the terrain and stuff like that, I can add a down definition to the terrain. So let me turn on these brushes so I can show you what I'm talking about. So if I hold shift, I can go down into the terrain now, right? So if I wanted to make like a crevasse or something like that that you're going to drive through, and we'll paint stones all around the outside, goes up. But what we're going to do is something similar is we're going to go look at some real world footage. We're going to get some real car sounds, and we're going to replicate some real tracks. So what we can do now is just smoothen this out if you really wanted to. And then you could easily just come back in, you know, and then paint your texture, your ground texture right here. Something like that, you know. But what we're going to do is, again, is scale this, the side. I'm going to go to 20 by 20. And we're going to set our opacity down, so we need to go back up. And now we have somewhat of a better ground, right? But we're not entirely going to be doing that, so let me just go all the way back. I hope Unity lets me go back enough. There we go. Good. So now we're pretty much good to go for starting some more systems. I just want to make sure this car here does act properly, right? I just want to make sure I don't have to create an upper and a lower physics material before using this. Sometimes your car will slide around if you stamp. As you see, I don't even know where the fuck I am, but that's okay. That's because we lost the camera. It's still buried. Fuck. Oh, yeah, I have my origin set really strange. Let's get this camera back out of here. Yeah, and we'll make this camera follow like Richard Burns as well. I love their external cameras in that game. How the camera doesn't exactly pan directly with the rear ass end of your car. But that was a great view. Yeah, we'll remaster the title. We have the music already done, the theme song and stuff. I just figured it'd be a fun project. Nobody on the RBR community really gives a shit, right? But yeah, they won't get it. But anyway, so now we can test the car, and we'll add a script to this camera to pan as we do test. Aha! There's our cubes that we moved up. We forgot to disable those bad boys. So let's get those. Yeah, these are spectators that we're using here. Yeah, yeah. Remember in the last stream we were doing, we made all those systems to make a better game? That's what we're basically using now, is most of those systems. So remember, we started with a low poly game, and now we're ending up with something a little bit better. And we will increase the shader model. So what I'll do is I'll jump over into the asset store and get a better skybox. I think that's how it works in Unity. And then what I'm thinking we're going to do after all the systems are done, if I can find a plugin that allows me to use C in Unreal Engine, we're going to go to Unreal Engine. Because they have really good simulations and they have Nanite. And I think Nanite would make real good use in a rally game because another feature I really wanted to add, which really isn't too difficult, the difficult part is terrain deformation. So the terrain will wear out, right? So in each rally should have about 16 to 30 people, and I want the stage to wear down after time, or I want leaves to blow into the track from the person that went ahead of you. And there's always the guy known as the plow. So snow stages will have a light dusting over top. It'll feel a lot more slippy, right? And then the second person will have less of it. Yeah, we have it. We have a camera inside already. Actually, that's actually a good point. We don't have the camera in there anymore. Yeah, we'll get rid of the mirror. I'll show you how to make that transparent like our last car there. And we'll add another camera inside the car for the first person view. So for VR, right? Yeah. So I started developing Unity, making VR games. So I'm very familiar with how OVR cameras work because that's all you need in a rally game, in a racing game in VR. It's just an OVR camera. It's literally just one of these cameras, but when you start, it's in virtual reality. And then what you're going to do is start over at the side and stuff like that, and you're going to use those as well. So what we have to do is put this new camera labeled W, and we got to place that into the buggy. We're going to go to our old camera, and we're going to disable that camera, and we're just going to see how the first-person view looks. Because I did also code up something else for a neck mod. So as you see, we now have inside of the car. Nothing turns yet because nothing's animated, but it will be, so that's great. Yeah, don't mind the sounds, I just needed sound on it. It's so easily replaceable, and like I will show you. And if you notice that our car kind of wobbles on its suspension, I'm going to add options to like your pause menu where you can tune all of that, or the end stage, kind of like that. Most of the WRC games. But yeah, that's for the first person camera, and then what we can do again is we can come down, we can create yet another camera, and then we can start creating all of the views, right? So there is a hood cam, so we need a hood cam, or bonnet cam. So let's make the bonnet cam. Yeah, they're salty, eh? You too? That's funny. Yeah, I thought everybody would be cool over there, right? They'd be like, oh, nice, someone's going to be, trying to update something or building a new rally. No, everybody didn't give a fuck, dude. Yeah, fuck those kids. But yeah, that's the same Discord I was just in. Isn't that fun? It's ironic. I find that really funny, actually. Yeah, it ain't my kind of community, that's for God. They don't give a fuck. They don't want to play it, they ain't going to. It's funny, too, because I can make it localized, so I can give it to whoever for free I want, and then only that person will get it, and they can pay me for it, so. So we got the cameras, we got the bonnet cam, we got the inside cam, so you can see the cam window down here at the bottom. If I can make this a little bit bigger. There you go. So that's the inside camera right there. We got our back end camera right here on the ass. We have our bonnet cam. There should be a bumper cam as well. So let me just make sure these cameras are inside of our player object. So we're going to go down. We're going to create another camera. We're going to select it. And then we're going to write a script to swap between the cameras. And then we're going to do one more thing, remember, because I really want this in an updated rally game. I want to get out of my car. I want to go to a shop and buy car parts. That's what I want to do. Yes, we are going to be making that system very shortly, actually. I was actually going to start with that system, but I figured maybe we just get the fundamentals down, right? So this is going to be our lower cam. I'm just going to put that there. So now we got all of the cameras inside of the car. We've pretty much replicated all the views. We got the physics, which is really good. So let me run you down on that for a little bit. So it was really difficult to tell the script where these physics are supposed to be. So I basically went into Richard Burns and I looked at some of the cars, and they have their own little modeled suspension system. So that's basically what you're seeing right here, is this different looking suspension system, which is really new to me, and it wasn't that difficult to set up. But as you see that these two suspension points are not exactly equal, but we can move the suspension points, which is really, really handy. So we could basically import any car and get perfect suspension out of it, which is great. Whoop, don't want to move the tire. We may have to go into the settings and just reposition that a little bit. That's not going to matter too much. That's perfectly fine if they're like that. But just if, like, the front two are really important to have into their special place. So I just want to make sure all the tires are, you know, in the body, because that one looks like it's out a little bit bigger. We're going to switch the tires too. You're going to be able to customize the entire car as you see these windows come off and everything. So yes, I do have the material shaders for these. That's why they're separate objects, by the way. So it's very important inside a Blender that you do that. And so I left these lights, for example. See how I can't select the light? That's going to be difficult. So all we really have to do is just replace the body, right? I just have to go back and get the lights to do it. Done. As long as we have everything else in place, everything else will be a lot easier for us. So now that we have all of that, we can start creating the next system. So we got spectators, so let me just bring that down here so we're well aware of what we got before we even start sculpting up the game, right? So we want to get our systems down before we make the game. And then let me blow up my chat. And push that over there. Yeah, so far so good. Now we got that. We got the track, man. We're good to go. We pretty much have the start of the game done. But next thing we're going to do is create some region points. Again, remember we have to make pace notes. So the pace notes are important. So we can do this very easily by creating an empty game object. And inside this game object, we're going to create a collider. In this case, a box collider. And we're going to bring this all up. And you're going to be able to see this box, okay? So this box will be solid for now unless we click this button right here at the side. It's called a trigger button. Basically what that makes this is a region. So anytime we enter this region, something can happen. So in this case, it's going to call out a pace note. So you want your first pace notes right at the start. And then the rest of the pace notes we can do as we move forward. So we don't have a track yet to line these up. But I will show you that they work, and we will add an audio source to both of these. Now we can see them. So anytime we enter this region, player enters this region, it's going to call out a sound, and we can make it display an image on your UI for the pace note if you really want. But I think we're going to keep this very, very realistic and just, you know, not have that, right? Because, you know, we're gonna make something fun here. Yeah, we're gonna do something fun here. It's gonna be a really good game. It feels really good to play. I know it sounds really stupid to say from what you see now, but it's all about the feel of the car. The stage, not so much. The feel of the car is the most important thing when it comes to this. That's why I decided to go in and make a racing game. Yes, we do actually. So I have a few more bodies. We even have a Subaru, but this one came out really fucked up inside a blender. I know exactly what I did wrong too, so we're not even going to worry about that. We have a Citroen DS3 as well, which is that, but it doesn't have the right texture, right? So we're going to go and I'm just going to import really quickly the other texture for the Citroen. I have a lot of rally car stuff, so just bear with me here. Citroen skins body 1. We're gonna just import that. It should just take over. There we go. So it took over really easily. So we got a Citroen DS3 right here, which is really nice. I love that car so much. But we're just gonna take this. We're gonna be able to make this a swappable body. Remember, there's a chassis on this car. We're gonna create a region box that holds these bodies, and then you can swap between. Swap these out. Swap the suspension system. We can make wide suspension. We can add a lot. And the reason why I had to do the suspension system like this is because inside of Richard Burns, they have really, really fundamental options to changing these things, like the camber and the pressure of your tires and stuff like that. So, and that's another reason why these are a purplish blue. The blue is going to determine how much pressure is in the tire. Least pressure, the more grip you're going to have, even if you have low grip on your tire. So these are all things I didn't think about when you're doing the first one that I thought about now, so it's a good thing that it's done already. So if I go to the car, you're going to see right here we have a bunch of good options here for us. We even have RPM limits, we have car steer. We can even make if you have a steering wheel, you can control this with a steering wheel. So speaking of that, there's one thing I want to try very quickly, and I just want to try using my Xbox control. And it works fine. Which is really good. Really good. I just want to see how fast we can get. Like, that feels really good, the way the car sways like that. That is me turning too, by the way, when I'm doing that. So if I were to go straight, it would just do that. And you can tell that there's an offset on the wheel. Yeah, that feels really good, the tilt. But you can see the body is clicking onto the ground. It will make destruction as well. That's a really easy feature to do. We can add a script that determines the velocity, and at a certain velocity, if that comes in contact with another rigid body, that will then break. Okay, so at least now we know our Xbox controllers all work, which is fantastic. I thought I would have to do a lot more work on that. But I'm just going to disable these other cameras in the meantime. That way we're only working with the back camera, because now we have to worry about the camera. So I want this camera to follow the player, right? And remember last time we were doing this, we were having some offset issues. We can probably avoid most of those offset issues this time. So let me just get something painted here. That way we have somewhat of a trail to follow. He said that to you too. Yeah, when I was in the group, the guys like, oh, don't schizo post. It's like I'm responding to 500 fucking people that are tagging me, you dumb asshole. Like, you got a fucking brain upstairs? Like, use it. It's a tool, man. It can stop you from looking stupid. So we got a little bit of just a shitty little trail to follow, because I do want to test, you know, like, the slip and stuff like that, so we can probably even just test how the distance of our slip that we have just driving. Shit, I forgot to disable that camera. My apologies. I don't want the terrain to lose. Oop. There we go. Yeah, that one's still on. We want that off. And we just want that one on. This can get a little tricky coding up the camera. Yeah, I can make a jump. We can test that too. No, like, it feels really good. Like, I play a lot of Richard Burns and I play a lot of WRC. This feels good to me. It's that new, that's that suspension system that I have set up here. It's really good. It really does feel good. You may not see a lot, but the options we have, I can make all of these options here at the site available to you in the game. Like your shift up RPM and stuff like that, that you can swap out. So we'll create a store where you can get out of your car. So we'll also create a first-person character controller. So we'll call this FPS controller. And then we'll make it so we can get in and out of our car, right? So that's going to be one thing that's new to any rally game is getting in and out of your car. And people are probably going to ask, well, what the hell is the reason for that? It's just fun to walk around your station, you know, and watch your car get fixed on by mechanics. Because we can make that happen. I'm an animator. I can do this very easily. I could do that in a day, in fact. We just have to create some assets, so it's a good thing I also do 3D modeling. Okay, so what we're going to do is get this script coded up. So remember, we have all the other cameras inside of there. We just can't see them right now, as you see over here. They're unhighlighted. We do have a first-person, third-person views. We have 4 views total right now. We can swap the bodies of the car, but we do have to make sure each of these fit onto the correct chassis. If not, then we have to make a script to swap the chassis. And I'm saying chassis because that's the placeholder. Or our car is basically a giant placeholder. So our car is an invisible box that's holding a model. So we'll just push that to the side for now. We'll use that in a little bit so we can test out swapping the car bodies and stuff like that. And I'll make each of the car bodies have a predetermined preset and a max value. So each car will be different. So that's how we're going to be able to replicate that. So what we're also going to do is jump over into Richard Burns here shortly, and we're going to see what we are missing out of the physics, because I do think we need more slip, a lot more slip. Because that game is like driving on ice. And after this new update I had to do today, the game's like next to fucking broken. It's so hard to turn now. It's unbelievable. Yeah, they did some new updates. It's fine and all. I'm happy somebody's updating it. I love that game. I just wish the community wasn't such a salt bag. Like a dumpster fire. Now I see why not a lot of people are making mods for it. It's because people get shut down before they even have the opportunity to show it. Yeah, I told everyone to cut. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the same thing. I told everybody to cut the stream. They pick the worst looking video and then just show it to everybody. It's like, that's not even what the fuck we're working on. Like, it doesn't even hold reference to what we're doing. At all, actually. Not what in the least bit. So what we can do is make a little jump just to test, like you said, the physics. If that's what you want to do, we can do that. To give you a little action, I'm happy with doing that for you. Yes, we're live on like 5 different sites here. Twitch, Kick, YouTube. It's just I have YouTube set as a priority. Yeah, we don't want this chunky looking brush here. Because I wanted the low latency. Because, yeah, a lot of people were trying to talk to me last time and it couldn't. Because it wouldn't show up. We can always change the opacity to increase the smoothing. Now you see how it pulled the terrain up. Now it's a bit more of like a ramp. We'll just do something like that just to test it, right? That's all we're really doing. So we'll see if we can fly off of this bad boy. Oh yeah, that was cool. The weight felt really good on that jump. And I know that sounds really stupid to hear, but it feels good. So I'm all about feeling when it comes to racing games. That like I've played with a lot of templates to see what other people have done to try to do it, and none of them have come close. There's one guy on the Unity Asset Store that made a system. I don't know if he knows it, but it is incredibly undervalued. And it's just a suspension system. There's no car that comes with it. I'll show it to you guys later. And it's free. It's really cool. It's actually what got me into the idea to make the suspension for that car you see right now. It's like, it's all was from him. It was a great, great, great system. I didn't know you could do that in Unity. Yeah, so good call that you said that because now I can explain it to you, okay? So, unlike a lot of rally games, your essential parts are going to have health systems. So I tried to model them as best as I could. As you see, there's no diff here. It's under a flat plate. That's okay though, like a lot of rally cars, they have a big steel plate to cover all that. So your differentials here, I'm going to make it go in your main menu. You can customize or build a car. And it's going to like a skeleton view. If anybody remembers the Colin McRae Dirt, I don't know if it was McRae Dirt 2 or Dirt 1. But when you're like tuning your car, you can see the inside of your car through like the ghosted outline. It looked real good, man. We can even go back in and try to, I don't want to rip a game off, but I do want to, hold boast to their communities, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not trying to make money here. I'm just trying to give people a more updated experience on Rally because there's not a lot of Rally that comes out lately. I love Rally, man. I just got into it probably like, 3 years ago, and I fell in love with it. I love everything about it, man. I used to hate cars, dude. I hated cars. The only cars I know shit about are rally cars. So. But as you see, I did model all this up. So like EA, WRC, you're going to be able to swap this shit out. As you see, there is a sound icon here for your gear shift and your handbrake. Stuff like that. There's some things you don't need like this in here and stuff like that. I'll remove all that. And another thing I made as separate objects are the pedals and stuff. It's not really going to matter, but you're going to be able to customize the interior of your car. And I don't just mean like, oh, select one of 5 steering wheels. I mean like you can select the color and stuff like that. But that's going to be a for later system, right? We just want to get the game working. And I want my particle. I know there was an engine particle for the smoke. Let's see if we can select it, unless I buried it. Yeah, there'll be a particle that we can shoot out of the back when the ALS gives you that little flame. We always just gotta place it. So I gotta create regions as well. So collider boxes. So that when we swap out parts, it swaps to the center of the collider box, right? So for example, I can show you what I mean by that. So we do have a car here. We're gonna find the body of it. So we have the body of it here. And then the next thing we're gonna do is add... Oop, not a 2D collider. You want a 3D box collider. So it's box collider. And that should be in the origin of your car, which is great. We can also use that to change the center of mass on our car. So we can make it rear wheel or front wheel drive or all wheel. Engine settings like the new AWRC, you can choose from the mid-engine and stuff like that. We should be able to do that, no problem. So let us just skip. Find our collider. There we go. So we're going to stretch this collider box out. You don't have to do this manually, but if you see, it's not going to come out on the best angle. So what we can do is use these increments right here. So we're going to push this up. So this collider box right here is going to be the detection system for many of the other systems. For the spectators and stuff like that. And the camera guy. So when the camera guy's collider detects our collider, he will move out of the way. Very simple. So we'll just make that out. We can even just eventually change this into a roll transfer. So now that we have that, that's going to be the base of our car. Let me just find the top key. Bring that up. Okay. Make sure this isn't hanging below the frame of your body. Which we can, this looks like it's just perfect, just perfect. And we're going to set this to as a trigger, so when we start, it's not going to explode, right? So now it's just a trigger. It's not an actual collider, so we can use this now for regions. So say if I wanted to swap from this body to this body, all I have to do is tell the script to change the body, and it would apply this citron onto that body, right into the center of this collider. That's why we had to make sure this origin point right here is right at the center of our other bodies, because once it swaps, we don't want this body to swap and be misplaced, like way down here in the wheels up front, you know? We want this to snap right onto the center. That way, when we go in and we take our Polo and we swap it, we will have a new car. But as you see, we have a small problem. And that was the orientation I was telling you. That. We can even make this a little smaller. Like that. So that's going to be the origin for that, right? So now we can just shove that thing out of the way. Now I can show you a little bit more of the suspension. And now we can really easily change these things, right? So, like, your suspension couldn't break. That's one thing, and your tire will flop around and stuff. I have a rigid body on it, so when that breaks, it adds a rigid body, so it shows, like, you know, gives the part, like, physics and stuff like that. So, the next thing we're going to do is just re-enable our Polo, now that we have that other body resized. Let's just run this as a test, just in case we broke something. Yeah, we need more slip. So let's try stopping. It slows down. So we can add an option to the code for the script of the car to give you rear wheel or front wheel drive, unless I have it already. So let me just go in and check. Aha, yeah. So right here you have a front wheel drive. So we have this on front wheel. We can set it to rear wheel. You just go into your rear wheel, back wheel drive. So right now we're on all wheel drive, right? So let's turn that off and now just use front wheel. And that should allow the back wheels to slip a little bit easier. If not, we'll swap that control. And it's great too, because it feels a little bit slower. We're going to disable that. We're going to, no, I want active control. We're going to turn off the front wheel drive. I'm going to test it with the back wheels, because the front wheels are the ones that are locking during the brake. As you see, we go a lot slower now because we're pushing a lot of weight of the car. We're at weight 3,000. So we can even increase the mass of our car body, but we're going to set that ourselves for each different car. So we're going to set this to equal. I'm going to go down to my wheel settings. I'm going to blow this out a little bit. So we have wheel radius, the weight. So our weight is 1,000. So we can set the weight of our wheels and stuff. Just don't mess with that. You don't really need that. So right here is the main settings that we're going to be worried about. So we have gearing, stiffness, all this other stuff, right? So let's turn our stiffness up to 4. Let's turn our springs up to, say, 33,000. Car power, we will make 180. And we'll give this a run. Oh, it's fun to play with. Dude, we got a really good start to a game here. Like, this is fun. This is why I'm telling you all to follow along, because you'll have this and you'll understand what I mean by, like, that's fun to play with. Just fun. I like it. I'm loving the progress so far. So I don't give a fuck if the other community doesn't like it. I like it. That's why I'm doing it. So let's see if we can make the back end slip, okay? So we also have a camera swap element, so we can set our cameras into here as well. So let's go cam. So we have main camera. Now we have to go by and find our disabled cameras here. Just going to re-enable these cameras. So now we have all 3 of our cameras. We're just going to remove this camera right here for now. We don't really need that. We're just going to focus on the 2. So we're going to delete this camera as well. So now we only have the interior camera and the exterior camera. So we're going to go up to the buggy and come down to where the cameras are. So main camera is camera 1, and then I need to find the name of that other camera. I think I labeled it W or something like that. Yeah, it's just called W. W. There it is at the bottom. Okay, so now we have our camera swap elements. Now we should be able to pop in between each of those cameras very easily. If not, we'll make a new one. We have a spring script right here in case you want to add more suspension. So say if you're doing like a Dakar car or something, you have six-wheeler or something like that, you could go for it. But now, so we get the camera swap, they hit ground. Switch gear sounds, distance, weight. That's all that. That's all that. Automatic gearing, idle RPM. Shift to center, so you can set the center of your shift to dampening. So I do want this to be about 2000. So we want a little bit tighter of a suspension. And we'll add another script so we can make these wheels slip a lot easier. So actually, let me just select the wheel and see what we're dealing with here. As you see, there's no wheel collider specifically on that one. We do have a gizmo object on the spring. We have an axle, which is spinning the tire. And they're all gizmo objects. So this isn't exactly handled by a wheel collider. This is more or less handled by the suspension settings and an axle, right? So I got really pissed off fucking around with wheel colliders because they drive me absolutely insane. And they, for some reason, just don't work, right? So we're just going to use the general mesh. I'm just going to look around. I know one of these lights were backwards. Ah! There was the other particle. There it is. Yeah, there's another one that's red. It's a little bit more. It does. It does. So you'll probably see it animate when I unclick from it. Oh, I guess it doesn't. Isn't that weird, eh? It just like doesn't play for us. Let's see if we can find the other one. There it is. We're gonna bring this bad boy down too. And that'll be like that flame for the ALS system, right? But we'll change all of that when it's finished. We can even set the colors of the particle and stuff like that. So it's very simple, right? There's really nothing to it. But I do want to get this camera swapped down. So we're going to go in and see if the camera thing works. If not, we'll just make an entirely new script to handle it. And we'll handle the friction a little bit better on the bottom of the tires. So we got a little bit of a course started here. We can start bringing in some assets for the track. Because we pretty much have the car good to go. We just got to focus on the camera here. So what I'm actually going to do is create a new game object. And we're going to call this cam swap. So this is going to be the container that handles our camera swapping feature, which is very easy to do. And then what we're going to do is go on in. Okay, so I'm just running a little check here. So we need to make a new script, and we're going to call this cam swap. We're going to go in here, and we're just going to replace the defaults. So we have first camera and second camera, and we can just keep continuously adding more cameras. We need a total of 5 cameras. And then 1 free camera for replays. So let us go, we need to go into our cam swap object, drag this object here. Now we have our first camera. Remember, this was just main camera. It should only display your cameras in that camera. Now every time we press C, the C key is going to be what changes your view. At least it should. So let's try. Works great, works phenomenal. Oh, I love hairpins. You just need to create a friction material onto the terrain. So now we have a camera swap, and that was so damn easy to make, right? So what we're going to do now is create physics material. We're going to call this dirt. So this will be our dirt physics, and we have our dynamic frictions up here at the top. So when we click our terrain, we can now assign one of those terrain data. But we do have new terrain data here already. We're just going to leave those default for now. Because what we're going to do is make these a bit separate. And we're only going to apply the terrain data to what we're painting. So we can actually just, get rid of this little hump here. We can even use an alpha brush that looks something like this. To raise the opacity, brush size. And notice how we go kind of up a hill. Something like that. And then what you can do over on these parts, let me raise that up as well. It's going to look really stupid for a second. And what we can do is set the height to, say, 12. With shift. And then we can flatten out our track. That. You can destroy things. Things like that. We're not necessarily going to be doing this. I'm just tinkering around with that smooth, see what we can get away with there. Let's smoothen this out a little bit, because I do like that, having that little pit. This will look a lot better once we get a better shader in here. Very simple to do. Luckily, I know very well how to deal with shaders, so this should go very splendid. Let's get that smoothed out. And we'll have something like that. I don't know, just like a little track to try, right? We'll fix all of this. This will not look anything like that. So we don't want this here. That. You can change your opacity again. I recommend setting a hotkey for your opacity. And we'll have somewhat, like just a little trail, we just need something to follow to get these systems in place the spectators, and then we'll work on going real one-to-one, because we're going to create tools to fix this. So now we have a first-person view as well. Pretty good, pretty good. So this is all garbage. We don't really need any of this. So I'm just gonna. All we need is some bumps. All I'm doing is testing the suspension right at this second. It's very important to get the suspension down first. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Yeah, we're gonna fix it. All of it. This isn't even the map we're making. We just need something to drive on in the meantime. Exactly. Just a placeholder, man. You understand. I'm like the RVR community. Oh no, I just don't recommend going there. That's all. Yeah, I'm just getting a drink here. Get right back into it. We're gonna create the photographer next, I think. Very simple task. Yeah, I'm just focused. Yeah, I can show you. I can show you. Yeah, so we have these for now. We're not using this one right this second, but it's going to swap up onto this. As you see, we do have like consoles and stuff like that. They're not very high resolution textures on the outside, but we'll fix it. Yeah, because I want this game to keep updated with like the current rally. You know what I mean? The 24th season. Like yesterday's rally was crazy, man. Yeah, the one in Guanajuato or whatever. I love that pink Skoda that those Mexicans have, man. Oh man, that car is so nice. This is the same one Oliver Solberg has, but it's pink, dude. It's fucking sweet. Yeah, we got everything. We got the cam swap and all that. And I can add 2 more options so we can add more cameras, right? And then we're going to add a replay system. So what we can do is add a camera way up in the sky that'll just kind of follow you around like a helicopter. Very easy. Yes, these are spectators. It's good to see a returning member here. So when we stop, if I enable this script right here, that will move towards you and push you back onto the truck. For example, you know, let's just get that as an idea into you. So, for example, say if I were to drive and I crashed into a rock, say right here, right? Let me just enable that for everybody. Say there's, just pretend there's a tree there, and I stop. Well, they're not supposed to move till I stop, and they'll reset you to the track. And then they should let you go, and then you'll be able to continue your rally, but for some reason they're just gonna fucking chase me around the map. Yeah, I got a first person view. What do you think we are, bro? Yeah, I don't know why they're moving right now. They're not supposed to move for a certain time. Oh, it's stopping distance. I think I labeled that wrong. Honestly, I think that's Hmm. Here's what we'll do instead. We'll add colliders, right? Because I don't want the spectators that are safer, like over here on this little one. I don't want them to run over as well. I only want the ones you're closest to. That's why we're going to create region zones, just like these zones we have here for the pace notes. These notes. And we'll create those zones on the inside so the spectators know what side of the road you crashed on. It's just we're going to have to take one of these colliders, and we're probably going to have to make 2 of them, but they're going to split right down the center of the road. And this we can create a Bezier curve, and then I can just extend it from there. Very simple. Yeah, this is the pace notes. Remember in the last one we made? Every time we drive through, it's going to call the pace note. And then what I'll make it... The reason why I made these as separate game objects instead of just adding these colliders right onto the map is so eventually you can create your own pace notes. You'll have a top-down view of the whole rally, and you'll be able just to paste your notes on wherever you want, right? You don't have to worry about text and all that garbage, you know, it's just you place them where you think is best. That's all it should have been, ever. You know, it's like this is how easy it is to do that. Exactly. So another thing I'm going to do is get us a better shader. So I think I have to dip into the asset. I'm just going to browse for it very quickly here. Get a better skybox, something nice. There's a lot of them on here. Ooh, here's a plaque. And fog. Fog is an important thing to have as well at distances. It really matters. What the fuck just happened? Let us go ultra. Open in Unity. Yeah, we got a better placeholder skybox just to give us better definition because Unity always, like when you're making games in Unity for some reason, it's always so outdated looking. Like it looks like a PS1 game, right? But watch, as soon as we start getting some better shader models in here, it's really going to change things because we have a lot of reflective materials on our cars that aren't reflecting yet. And there's a couple of steps we have to do towards after testing the level and stuff. We have to bake the lighting into the map. Baking is going to be important in applying light, sun, stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to be basing most of the tracks on real world tracks. So we're actually going to go into videos and watch like the dash cams and, you know, kind of sculpt up as the dash cam goes, move forward, sculpt more, so forth. So let's try this. Let's go down here, rendering, oops, sorry, window, rendering, lighting, environment, skybox, and we're going to find a new one that we just imported. Okay, we have a bit of a skybox. We're going to change the intensity. Now we should have better looking clouds and stuff, right? So that's a little bit intense. That's okay. For at least the meantime. What we can actually probably do is downgrade that a little bit. So, render light. Yeah, we got to change that from the directional. We even have nighttime, right? So night's a really good one as well. We'll just make it one of the default. So we have sunny sky, so here's one. So we can increase the luminosity of it. And we change the resolution to 1024. We're going to change bounces way up. We can even change the reflections from this, that to custom lights. So we will eventually add custom lights into those slots so that, you know, everything reflects. We want to have things to reflect. Yeah, it does kind of look, it looks a little better. We have way better shadows, but we're going to get RTX on. We'll definitely have RT shaders. That's for damn sure we're going to have RTX. But as you see, we have no reflection on our car. And we know that because these windows have reflection materials on it, they're not coming through. So we may have to bake the lighting, but we can play around with it. That's totally fine, right? But what we can actually do is start getting a couple more assets just as placeholders, like trees and stuff. Because what I can eventually do is just select them all and replace them all just at once, right? So as long as we have something in place in testing, like using asset packs, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But if once you're finishing the game, just replace all of those assets. It's all you really have to do. Oh, I swallowed pop the wrong way. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, I'm gonna do my Canadian bong rip here, man, and we're gonna probably jump over into Richard Burns here and see what we're missing out of the physics, because there is a few things I want to check out. The one main place we're going to be headed to is probably the tuning menu. I got to see the tuning menu. That's where all your stuff's coming from, is the tuning menu. We can even open up the code from the game. Next pack. Yeah. I'm here. I'm just packing a bowl. Yeah, I'm in Canada, so don't worry. Thanks, though, bro. Don't judge. Hey, come on, man. I don't know if that's, it depends how you look at it, right? Like, I'm not saying no, marijuana doesn't make lazy people. Like, I can see how it does. But here's the thing, right? Here's how this is supposed to work. You are supposed to smoke pot after work at a time when you're about to relax. You're not supposed to go get high at work. That's why it's always frowned upon. I run a kitchen, right? So I'm a chef in my daily life. I went to culinary arts. And I see, and there's a lot of people in the kitchens that'll try to sneak vape pens into the dishwasher room every fucking time, man. I don't mind, but just go outside with the damn thing. Don't smoke that shit in a building. You know what I mean? Like, fucking people. Sometimes it's not in my. Yeah, well, if it was all in my power, I would say that. When I mean chef is usually I get handed the title chef when chef isn't there. So I'm basically soup, right? So when chef's not there, I'm chef. I don't necessarily get to write the rules. You know what I mean? And the people that are usually doing that have been there for a lot longer, and I'm relatively new, and Simon seems to know that. Simon is the chef I'm talking about. I don't know if that would be lack of responsibility on my half, but it could be. Could be why I don't like culinary that much anymore. I'll tell you, man, being in Canada and taking culinary arts was probably one of the worst decisions I ever made. Can't afford half the fucking shit to teach you how to make, man. Do you have any idea how much butter is in Canada? Like, God. $8, man, for a little thing of butter. Yeah, well, you're using fake butter. That's not real butter. I'm talking real butter, homie. I don't know what the fuck. Piece of glass fell off of something here. But yeah, I'll start it here, and I'll just show you very quickly. And we're going to create the spectator that runs off of the road. We can do that in like 5 seconds, man. So when we get close, see, these guys are already starting to move towards me. I got to stop them again. So let me actually just disable our spectators, and we'll make them jump. We'll make them have a little bit more characteristic to them, right? So again, these are just blocks for now, but just pretend they're fucking people, okay? All you have to do is just make believe, baby. But anyway, so what we're gonna do, perfect. Okay. Vector 3 start position. All right. Now let us go in and create a new script. We'll call it cheering. So when you get in radius, these blocks should start jumping up and down cheering for you. I love that. When we made that in the other game there, that was a really cool feature. I was really happy. It was adorable. These little blocks are cheering for it. We will have to create a region. Find you. Okay, no errors, all good. So we're going to take this, we're just going to go onto this guy right here. We'll remove the walking script. We'll actually just delete these other spectators for now, and we'll just add them back in later when we get all the systems done. So what we're going to do now is just apply this cheer script. We have a jump height and a jump speed, so we're going to set this to 4. And all we're going to do right now is just kind of push this over into our view. That way we can see it. As soon as we hit play, he should just be jumping. So. Yay! He's cheering! That's fucking hilarious, dude. But okay, so the next thing we're going to do... He does go into the terrain. We can probably fix that. 8, and we'll go 0.7 on that. And then what we'll do is we'll copy this guy. We'll get a different sized human. And we'll make this 1, and we'll make this 12. So they're offset. We can tell this script to offset all of them. if there's multiple being bound to the script, we can just set it to change these options so none of them are the same. So we'll change this to 11 and then change this to 0.2. Now when we play, these should all just be jumping at different times. It should add a little bit more like a spectator feel, see? Now we got jumping spectators. Yeah, go Cody, go Cody, go, go, go. Oh man, I love computers. That's so much fun. That was so easy to do. Okay, so now we have jumping spectators. That's really good to do. Next thing we're gonna do as well is we're gonna create another game. Actually, what I'll just do is copy one of these guys. And we'll make this the photographer. You know that guy in Richard Burns that runs off the road that takes a picture for no reason? Except at the end of the stage, you're going to be able to see your pictures. Imagine that shit. So we do have to do a few things to this. So I'm going to have to remove that jumping script from it. We're going to take another box collider. Make it trigger. So that's our box collider, right? We're going to... Oddly, I can't edit the box collider, which is really strange on that one for some reason. So maybe what we'll do is add capsule collider. Alright. We'll set the radius like that. We'll hit edit. And we'll grab this bubble right about there. So when the player enters this region, he will run out of the way. We could make this a better region, of course, but... So that's going to be the guy that takes a picture of us, okay? And then we'll attach a camera to him, and we'll get it to take a real... You can set it in Unity to be an actual camera, and we'll get it to take a snapshot of you. That way you can see your replays and stuff. And another cool thing I want to add is the ability to place your own cameras around the map to customize your replays. You know, I love doing replays in rally games, so it'd be really nice to have something I enjoy, right? Yeah, I don't know if I'm still live on Twitch or not. I don't give a fuck about Twitch, man. Uh-oh. No, I think I dropped something here real quick. Here, hold on. I gotta find a flashlight. Actually, I have a cell phone. Did I really ask? I know, right? Did I really ask for a flashlight? What's that? Alright. No, I don't think it dropped anything, which is good. Yeah, I thought it dropped a piece or something like that. I don't know. Piece of the bong right there. Because I had my arm laying in a pile of weed for some reason. Hey, don't judge me, man. You know how long it took me to be able to do this shit? It's because I smoke pot all the time. I know that sounds so stupid to hear. Like, oh, it's because that you know all these skills. Yeah, it is. I wouldn't have fucking had the patience to sit here if it wasn't for that. It really does help with that. Like, people say it makes you stupid. It's so false. It does make you tired and lazy. So just don't do it if you're doing, like, a high-energy task. It's common fucking sense. Okay, so we're going to create a new script for this guy. We'll create a folder for all the scripts, too. And we'll call this photographer. And on the photographer script, remember... So these spectators will jump up and down, and if you crash, they'll reset you. They'll come and push you back onto the track like a rally. And then, we're going to have to do some hard animation, dynamic animation, so it depends on where the car is. You know, their hands can be placed. So when the car enters this region, this guy's going to move out of the way, left or right of the collider box. So that'll be left or right here. So we always have to make sure that our spectator is facing forward. But the cool thing is it's not going to be looking like the box. So if we created an animation and added it into there, we can make him sideways, but the colliders would still be facing at their forward, their true north, right? True south. Okay, so we got that. Now we're just going to go in. We're going to blow up a little code script here. So there's the script. Yeah, I had that disabled, so I apologize for that, guys. I'll show you the jumping one here in a minute. That way you can take it for yourself. This will just be like defined in the script as the move out of way script, in case when I'm labeling these scripts aren't to your liking. There's ways you can fix it. Alright. Let's attach the script to an empty game object. Oh yeah, we have a photographer thing already. So I'm just going to take this. I'll let you guys copy it. So I'll scroll up. And you can just read it. Like, it's all defined there for you. The speed at which the object moves, distance at which the object moves, flag indicates the object that should move, original position of the object, target position to move to. So I added those extra features in there. That way when we create the region boxes, he has data that we can set so he can move to those regions. What happens when you use your noodle? That's why we had to make like 4 rally games before we were able to do any of this, right? That's what I told you in the first stream. It'll look low poly now, but it's gonna build, baby. Like I said, we need all of the systems in check. That way, that all that's left to do is the art. Simple. Anyway, should be able to close that now. We can paste that guy right under. Let me just make sure the script is off the way. That way I don't blind you guys for 20 minutes again. So this will be our photographer with the collider and all that stuff. Oh yeah, we got to set this to as a trigger so we don't run right into the collider. But we're going to drag the photographer script. Move distance, move at speed. So when we enter that collider, he should just move out of the way. Oh yeah, I forgot to add a slot to add the collider. Maybe I'll tell it it's a trigger. Aha! That was correct. Now we should have an inspector option in there. Let me get rid of that. I don't know what that text was. But we can go back into our photographer, and we're going to replace that because I forgot to add the inspector option in there for you to choose the collider. I don't know if the collider has to be a separate game object for that to work, but it's very easy if it's not. So let's just jump right over. Let's click him. And right here we have our trigger collider, right? So we can select this. And this is cube 4. So we're going to select cube 4. And that's going to select, but there's a box collider, right? That's not the collider we want to use. So let us do this. We're going to go in here. We're going to take this capsule collider. We're going to remove the capsule collider, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create an empty, and we're going to drag that empty into cube 4. And then we're going to add a capsule collider to this cube. Because I want the spectator to also have a collider, and I'm pretty sure it'll conflict if we don't do it this way. So let me just set that there, and then what we're going to do is add the capsule collider. Yeah, it'd probably be better, you're right, to use the box collider in this case. But we just want to test this because we can easily just swap out the collider when we're done. So when we enter this collider, it should do as we want. So we're going to go back to the collider full. And that is just game object 2. So we're going to find game object 2. And that should be the collider. Okay? So now when the player enters the trigger, if this doesn't work, we can add another inspector option to choose which object we want him to move out of the way of. Ow. He definitely didn't move. Oh, I think I got a tag. A tag. There's a tag missing. Game object, tag. And we may have to create a new one. But I do have an update for this code that will define. So this should tell us what's going on if it doesn't work. Oh, the public variable, correct. That's right. And I should be able to add this directly to the cube instead of just adding it to the collider. And right now we have a new option right here to choose what to move away from. So in this case, it's going to be our polo. Right there. Now he should move once we enter. I just want to make sure that it is set as a player. Because remember, we had this problem with these guys over here, but we fixed it very easily. Yeah, then I'm going to have to get rid of that other collider there. Not exactly sure what's going on. Oh, okay. Because he doesn't have a collider anymore, that makes sense. I'm just going to add another capsule collider. Make the radius bigger, edit is trigger, and drag this out. Okay, now that he has the collider, now it should work. Oh, I forgot to set it. I'm gonna go back out again. No. 4. It's not the box collider, though. We want the capsule collider. That should be okay. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm just defining it wrong. Interesting. You remove the box collider from it. Aha, now it's set as the capsule collider. I knew something was wrong. I'm gonna move. Oddly, he's not moving. Okay, well, we'll worry about that in a little bit then. And we'll get a pace note checkpoint here. And we'll just code up quickly the pace notes. That way, when we enter those colliders, they'll just play the place note, or sorry, the pace notes, right? And we should be able to have an inspector slot that'll allow us to choose any sound. We'll call this pace note. Okay. And then we'll just set that right onto the collider. Select this and then paste note. We'll put that on there. And right now we have an audio sound to play. So anytime the player enters these regions, the sound will play. So that'll be, it could be a pace note, like 3 Titans, you know, it's whatever you wish it to be. And it should only play once, which is good. And again, we have to do the camera. Where did that go? We'll call this one cam follow. And this should follow the player. I don't know if I have to put the camera in a game object or not. But we're actually just going to take the main camera out for now. I'm going to select my main camera. And then we're going to drag the cam follow onto it. Script cam follow. This should follow the player. She does not. Oh, okay, I think I did this wrong. I think I know what happened here. Why the hell is that happening? I don't like Unity. Every time I like tab out, it just like reload everything. Fuck did that go? Oh, there we go. Target player. Now we can select. I don't know why that took so long to update, but that's okay. Now we just need to find that damn Polo. So now that's going to do that, and it should follow. And as we're playing, we should be able to tune these offsets in real time just to see the best offset we need. It might even show up a little bit messed. As you see, the camera's working great. Then we can go to first person, back. Yeah, cool. So now we have the camera following our player, which is really good. But we do want it to eventually start slowly to return to the back of the car. Because if you notice in Richard Burns, as you're using the furthest out camera you can do, you'll notice when you turn, you can actually go completely parallel to the camera's view. But anything after that, your camera will start slowly moving back behind the car. And we do want that simulated. So we have most of the systems done already. So all of these scripts down at the bottom work great. So I'll blow a couple of these up for you guys to use on your own. So this is the, oh yeah, we have to do the first person controller. So we're going to be able to get in and out of the car. I forgot about that. So I'll leave that right over there. And I'll show you the camera follow script so you guys can use it too. There's the camera follow script. And then now you guys can use that at your will. And that'll just follow your car. And I'll blow up a couple other ones so you guys can see them as well. Okay. Very nice. Good, 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 good. Now we can good to go to get bring in some like assets and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking, I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm just gonna call it script. I'm going to paste all the code into there. All the finished code. So we did a lot of systems already for this short amount of time, which is great. So we added all of these scripts into our script folder now. Now everything's a little bit more cleaned up. We can get rid of this Subaru. We'll delete this Subaru. Good. So now we're just stock, right? Now this looks a lot better to me. We're gonna get some assets in here just to create a small little track, and we're gonna clean up all this detail. So we're probably gonna use a bump map on this to give it a lot more of a lifelike feeling, right? We'll paint some grass and stuff. It'll look really good when we get to that point, but it's very bare right now, and we'll swap out the engine sounds. So what we'll probably do is go over to YouTube as well, watch some good rally videos, get the sound into FL Studio. We'll use DXM, and then what we're going to do is take each of those sounds on an octave key, and then we're going to play each of those octave keys all the way up to 12, and we're just going to sample those out. I don't know if it has to be OGG. I'm pretty sure it might have to be a WAV file for Unity, but we'll find out. And then, yeah, we'll just get someone to read us pace notes. So I'll probably hire someone to do that. My voice is not a pace note voice, that's for sure. Yeah, dude. Everybody's had gotten a hard time lately. It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's a suspension that you see there. Those purple blocks. It's not actually in the game, you know. These are suspension systems. We can get inside and show you. Yeah, easy peasy, man. And these crowds just jump. They will eventually move and push you back onto the car. So it adds more risk to where you crash. Because if you notice on a lot of rally videos, you can wave the crowd over and they'll come and push them back. But there's certain spots where you can't do that, right? So kind of want to replicate that. Well, the reason why I call it Richard Burns is because I basically recreated the same feel of the system of the car. I just updated it quite a lot. I gave a lot more options to use for it. It's very similar. You can do a lot of testing with third-party software to determine with what you're doing is actually really close to what you're trying to achieve. So it's not like I'm just guessing that, right? There's ways you can tell, like how fast your car hits a certain axis with a certain amount of input. You can get a third-party tool for that very easily. And mine matches very close to Richard Burns. So the one thing that doesn't match close enough is the slip. Because Richard Burns is very slippery, right? Yeah. I'm just collecting my marbles, as you would say. And then what I'm doing right now is just looking for a couple of packs for some trees. Actually, what I'm going to do is get another skybox thing. I want the 8K ones. So we'll just import these very quickly. 8K skybox pack. I'm pretty sure their skyboxes in Unity are just an HDRI, and I'm really good at making those. So a lot of people don't know that cameras have import light data. Cameras, like photographs on your iPhone, capture light data, right? And that light data can be converted into computer data. That's how processing works. Mm-hmm. YouTube's dead today, I don't know. Ooh, man, this is a big pack, eh? Holy fuck. Oh, it's gonna break something. You know, in Unity, man, you can import a fucking marble and the thing will crash everything you've been working on. I'm dead ass, dude, man. Like, Unity will fuck you in any way it can. Like, you really gotta bend over to Unity's rules. Like, there's a lot of rules in Unity. Oh man, but Unreal, like, yeah, everybody's asking me why am I using Unity and not Unreal. There's one big obstacle when it comes to using a different engine is your preferred language. And let me tell you, just learning another language isn't fucking easy to do, right? So when Unity's asking me for C, and then fucking Unreal's has to be for C sharp. It's like, come on, dude. Like, really? The best engine had to be C fucking sharp? Like, I don't understand that either. Oh, yeah, well, I could use blueprints, but I don't understand them. I don't get nodes. No, I don't understand nodes at all, man. I really don't. Yeah, I would rather do it by text, honestly. As you see down here at the bottom, test car, the maximum polygon limit is 256. We are 406. So we're double the polygon limit. And that's another thing with Unity we can change later. So now that we have these skyboxes in, let's just try them out. I think they imported. Let's find it. Oh yeah, here we go. So look at these skyboxes. These are way better, dude. It'll probably take a minute to bake the lighting. Yeah, it's just baking. You can see it down in the bottom corner. This will give it like a Kenya look, I'm hoping. It is an 8K light map, though, so this might take a few minutes to actually do. I'm really hoping it doesn't, because I fucking hate waiting for processing. I don't like it. There we go. I know some of these skies are animated. We will make some animated skies eventually. Yeah, it's nice, eh? And as you see, we're starting to get some more reflection on the car. We'll find the proper suit. I might have to go back into Blender and just re-export a UV map with some different alpha methods. Because the last one we imported here, I can show you. Where is it? Is it the Skoda or the Citroen? Oh no, he's on the desktop. My apologies. It was called New Body. Yeah, I'm just gonna drag this one in. So this is the first one you guys probably remember us dealing with. So we have this body as well. Yeah, I have a texture for it. I'm digging it up right now, actually. Car. I'm gonna import this. And it should have... See how the alpha worked on these windows here? Like, it worked really good, and this interior is done as well. See how those alphas worked on those windows, but these didn't? It's all because of a material map, right? So now we got the three bodies. Let's just get that one up and out of here. And just stack that up on here. Because these will have to be in a separate region themselves if we're going to be swapping bodies. So we'll have to make them evenly. At least by origin point, they have to be the same. Or they're just going to show up on the main menu somewhere different, right? So this car fully works, which is brilliant. Right? So now what I was originally trying to do is get a couple of trees and stuff. I just don't... I know some of these packs are so broken, they'll like fuck all your things up, right? So just import these. I don't even know what they are. And then we'll use these as the placeholders for our terrain. We need rocks and stuff. Yes, import. Okay. I should be able to go to prefabs. Is that a flower? Oh, here's the trees. Definitely gonna have to make these a lot bigger though. Yeah, we can paint them, but I'm just gonna add a few just to get some life in here. Like that, just for now, right? And we get these plants and grass down here. We'll find a grass system though. I like the Unreal Engine grass system so much better, but oh yeah, we can widen that bitch up. Like that. Yeah, it kind of looks nice, eh? Yeah, I can set it to set them at random heights when we paint them, and I'm just want to add like the basics, you know? And just copy this one, bring it around. Something like this for now. Let me move these guys out of the way so it's not such a distraction. So what I'll actually do is just create a cluster. We can do this with brushes as well, but I like to customize my own clusters. Do that, and we'll make another one like kind of like on the other side. And what we'll do is take these 3 trees, copy and paste these 3 trees. Oh yeah, it'll look way, way nice, man. It's gonna look really good. Yeah, it's playable. We even got like a following camera. We can change views, man. We got the whole thing. We'll add rigid bodies to the cameras, though. Yeah, like if I switched into first person, third person. Yeah, we'll get more less friction on the tires and stuff like that. And we'll get some definition in the terrain, of course. We'll sculpt them over the tree base, though. I'll show you. Well, at least that's what I plan to do. Just kind of move those down. That. We have flowers and shit. Even just turn the trees into bushes, you know? We'll come along, get rid of this plant. So what we're actually going to do is keep this neat and tidy. So we're going to go down, we're going to select all of the terrain, and we're just going to drag this all into terrain. That way we clean up this whole hierarchy up here. Now we're pretty much good to go to get more stuff and then start building up somewhat of a track. Remember, we got the paste notes, we got all the systems, so if I go back into the assets, you'll see all the systems. If I go into the script, these are all of our systems so far. We got the cheering, we got the car done, we got a lot done, so it's really, really good. It's nice having a lot. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, you want to see it? You weren't here? The car right here. Yeah, we can change the skybox just from like right here if you really want. I'm not a big fan of that one either. It's kind of like blinding. You can even increase the intensity. Go for a nice sunset, eh? Yeah, we gotta wait for it to build the lighting down at the bottom. I can't move until we wait. It's coming along, coming along. Oh, it's still building. There we go. It's still a little dull. We can change all that, though. We'll fix all that when we do the baking and stuff like that, but I just want something nice to look at. That, maybe make like just a default sky. Yeah, just like that. That's all I want. There we go. Yeah, it already works with steering wheels and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, if you want to test it, I was going to upload a demo for certain people to try out just to get the handling of the car, because there's a lot you can change in the settings of those cars. Like, you can even change, the whole car. And they each have different suspensions and different options and stuff like that, like EcoBoost and stuff like that. But if you're a member of that Discord of the Richard Burns community, you ain't getting shit, so. Yeah, fuck that. I will keep it, thank you. Saltiest fucking shit I've ever seen. No way, dude. Nope, you ain't getting it. Not you. Sorry. Sorry, champ. Yeah. So we got all of that. We'll create all the definition and stuff. I just need to get some like better assets, like rocks and stuff like that. And what we can actually do is change the illumination just a little bit. Max bounces. We'll add a fog. We'll change the fog intensity and all that stuff later on. We'll add like a dynamic weather system. All pretty simple, but the main thing about Unity is getting it up to look really nice, because I want it to look nice. I'm always picky with that shit. It doesn't look good. Unity's a really hard thing to make look good sometimes. A lot of people, they only add skyboxes. They don't actually fuck with the shaders, right? That's really important. That's why a lot of Unity games look the same, is because a lot of people can't figure it out. It's really not that difficult. Well, mostly Unreal does it mostly automatically. It's all real-time lighting. Yeah, you could add definition to it right now, right? But we need better assets. Like, say, for example, if I went into paint, I could cluster paint. I could paint details. I could paint trees, but this doesn't necessarily mean I need to have trees. So we can select the game object. We have plants. Let's see if we have grass. Don't think we do. So we'll have to get some grass, and then we'll be able to just like paint it like very easily. But it doesn't become a terrain object that way, which is really annoying sometimes. Oh yeah, it'll look great, dude. It'll look great. This is just the one we're gonna default just play around with for now. Oh yeah, I got bump maps, right, for the textures for the terrain. I just don't want to do too much sculpting on the terrain until I figure out what exactly it is I need to get those bumps onto here. A bump map, basically. So if I can explain, there's a good documentary on bump maps and height maps on YouTube, and who basically came up with the idea for those, and it was the people that made Doom, actually, when they made Doom 3. That more slower paced Doom. Yeah, so a lot of those materials in that game are flat, like completely flat, like what you're seeing here. But it's because of the bump map. It gives it a depth. It adds depth to all the black inside of it, right? And it gives it like this 3D effect. And that's what we're going to achieve. But we don't want to be adding bump to all of that, right? So we only want it within view. So we'll figure all of that out. We could easily take this terrain just go to right click and we can export this terrain and just get it into Blender. But the problem with doing that is then we have to do a whole new UV map with the whole entire thing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just easier to do it here. So I want to see if we can just create some brushes and stuff and bring them into Unity. That's one thing I was trying to research earlier. And if you see right here at the side, we can also paint our trees at certain heights. So let me actually just get some rocks and stuff and grass, because we do need grass. It's going to look really shitty without it. We need a nice grass. PBRs. Found some PBRs that could come in handy too. Bushes. Yeah. Here, I'm going to get some ground PBR materials. These are what we need to give it some... They should have bump maps already on them. So let me just import these. Download dirt grass. And when we paint these, you should see a difference. So I'll paint the grass next to this grass so you can see it. You can't see the window that I'm looking at right now. It's just the package manager inside of Unity. So I'm not just sitting here doing nothing. I'm actually flicking through a little window. Now it should be decrypting. I don't know if you can see that either. No, you can't. I wonder if I change it over to like Windows 10 capture mode. It'll serve a better purpose. Okay, so we got some better ground materials, and I just want to check. Yeah, those look a little better. Interesting. Pines. All right. I'm not sure if that imported those or not. It should have, because that looks like this moss right here. Looked like what I was looking at in the pack. It's really nice. We'll just make our own, if anything. But we do need grass, so I'm just going to find some grass. We don't want necessarily a mesh. So we can find a raycasted version of grass. Materials. I don't want materials. We need like the actual asset of grass. I want good grass, not shit grass. Gotta see one first. Grass and flower pack. Alright, well, I'm going to import this one then. And then we'll remove all of it at the end. And then we'll just replace each individual one. Because we can just replace the same name with our own thing. And then get it going that way. So I'm just going to import that. I'm just going to run to the washroom here real quick. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so those should have imported while I was up there doing my thing. So let's see if we got some grass and flowers finally. Doesn't fucking appear to it. Aha, here it is. Grass. Oh, they're fucking textures. That's so kite. Oh, that's so kite. Alright, we need to get rid of that. That's garbage. Whoever made that pack, you suck. Yeah, that's garbage. It's not at all what that pack says. Yeah, I'm just looking for the grass mesh that I can paint around, right? Like, there's bunch. Here, let me get this one. Then there's not many, right? Not a lot of people do like Unity packs. These are the only things that the reason why those things are even on the Unity asset store is for placeholders. Basically, what we're doing now, if you're just adding it to replace it later, right? Oh, I think I just keep forgetting to hit the import button when we do it. We definitely want to bring in our PBRs. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, now we have that in. I'm going to import the ground materials, so that way we have PBR materials. So we should have some depth to our materials, which is great. Yeah, it just says package manager, preparing package, busy 20 seconds. I fucking hate Unity in their package manager. But I'll tell you right now, what's worse is Unreal Engine's waiting around all the time for shit. It's so stupid. Ah, it's still loading. It says saving unsaved assets. I don't exactly know why this is happening, so I'm just going to cancel it. I have a really good computer, and I don't like it when things do that, and that scares me. Because I don't think I saved the project. It should auto-save, I'm hoping. There we go. Okay, that was easy enough. So I don't exactly need that anyway. So just get rid of that. So now we should have some bushes in the sheet. What the fuck, man? That's what I mean. Like, what are these? Okay, so we're going to get rid of that grass pack because there's no actual grass or anything in that pack. So that's fine. If anything, we'll just go make our own. We can do it like Richard Burns where we just get pictures and make them parallax. We can make them do that as well. We will be adding moving background. I think the clouds are moving already, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. So what we're gonna have to do is I'm legitimately just on another window, just flipping through some grass here, because I need three-dimensional grass, and I have a pack already that has grass. I could use procedural, but then it's just gonna chop up everything. It doesn't even have to be good grass, it just has to be grass. Yeah, I'm just looking for like a little grass mesh of some kind. Any kind, it doesn't have to be great. It just has to be there. It's just like everybody on the little store, they don't really fucks with grass. I noticed that on every engine, grass is so hard to come across. Let me actually just open the pack. Fucking textures, man. Ooh, I think I found a tool to help us do this, actually. That actually might help a lot. But the problem with importing tools like this is it might break everything, right? So let's actually save the project. Save project. And then we'll bring in that tool here this guy made. It's a really cool tool. It's like a brush you can use to paint grass. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. But if he has a better terrain, and it says it comes with a shader, right? And that's important, so. Download GeoGrass, it's called. Dropped in. All right, so now I'm gonna hit import. Uh, Not exactly sure how it works, but we'll hit import. If it breaks something, we'll just revert. Because I saved it before this point anyway. Yeah, see, there at the bottom, there's already a fucking error in the guy's pack. So, like, that's the cancer of using this. So let's get rid of the geograss then, because it will break everything in our project so far. All I want is grass, man. I know I have a pack somewhere that has grass, so actually let me go to my assets. Rocks and vegetation. No, you're right. You're very much so right. It's actually a good point that you brought that up because we will be doing terrain deformation. You're very much right. Good call. Well, the thing I like about UE5 is that it's auto LOD. Unity, you pretty much have to do the manual detail. I love UE5. I love everything about it, but it is just so complicated, man. Like, oh man, I was messing around with what was it, the vehicle template the other day, and I couldn't figure anything out, dude. Like, I Googled things for about 5 hours, and I didn't learn a fucking thing. If I can't learn something in 5 hours, it's not worth using to me. That's just my perspective on it, right? Like, it's just not useful. Unity is very easy to use. Nice. These are actually okay rocks, I think. But we still don't have fucking grass. Yeah, we can apply our own texture to these. Great. See these level of details? This is actually bad. So if we add these, we're going to lose a lot of space in the game. What was that? Rocks and vegetation, prefabs. So these are all our prefabs. Let me remove that too. We'll just flip through the ones that I do have until I find the fucking grass. Aha! Found it. I got it. I think this is the one. There should be a grass system already in Unity. I don't know why there isn't. Let me just look through. Grass. Yes, we have grass. I don't know if it'll look good because the shaders are going to be like basically mixed. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All about it. If you're in the chat, whatever you suggest you'd like to see in a rally game, drop it in the chat, man. Let's make it. I'll show you the code and you can have it for yourself. Absolutely will. Nature. Mesh. Aha, we have grass. What the fuck? Nice. Great. That's pretty much what I was looking for. Yeah, it'll start to look a lot better after we start painting the grass. I just need to add grass there to see what I'm doing here. I don't know why this guy's things are so tiny. And they're not even in the right orientation. Unity developers, man. What is going on with y'all lately? Like, this fucking thing doesn't even have a tree trunk. The guy ripped a model and just fucking left it halfway. Like, that's not even worth using as a tree. That's now a bush. I'll show you how to do that. See what their trees look like, you're right. Yeah, I don't know why this guy adds lights to his assets like that. It drives me nuts. That's nice. It's a little berry bush of some kind. Definitely could use that. So we're gonna put everything that we probably will use into a single folder, and everything we won't use into another. And then delete the ones that we don't use. Of course, we do want grasses and all that. Start pulling things together. So we can actually start roughening up the terrain, I guess. We could use this alpha brush right here. To give this a good start, and then what we can do is bring up the brush again. That. Yeah, and we'll start getting something in there, right? Just to start with, and we'll probably do the sculpting in Blender, where I'm best. Whoa, what's going on? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that camera. Where is the camera? I'm not sure. Yeah, well, I mean, it's supposed to fall here. We'll leave that on because we can change the offset while we're in the game. I don't know. That was working fine. It's not even taking over the camera. That's interesting to me. Okay, so what we'll do is forget that one for now. We will get rid of this script for now. And see if that fixes our issue. Because it could have something to do with the camera swap one we added. Yeah, because it's like not even facing our origin. Oddly, it's way over there. Unless we have a second camera by... Oh, you know what? I think one of this guy's assets has another camera in here. Yes, see, there's a camera. There should be another fucking camera way over here. That's the camera we're seeing for some reason. I don't see. That's what I mean. Some Unity asset developers are so stupid. Like, why the fuck would you add a camera to it? Now when we play, we should be set to our defaults. Good. Now we can actually re-enable that script. Select camera and follow, and then find Polo. Alright, I'm going to search it. There we go. Now when we play, that should just follow along. It's because we had other cameras imported. Yeah, we'll make them solid. You just gotta add a rigid body. I just wanted to see if everything still checks out, right? Seems to be going all right here. Yeah, it'll look a little chunky. That's okay. Oh yeah, yeah. We'll fill it all in. Like we're gonna paint rocks. It's gonna look vastly different than what you're seeing now. Vastly different. Something like that. I just want to test that little corner there. I'm not a big fan of it. You can even just redo it, right? Because we might just do the map in Blender. Yeah, it's just all the camera. Don't worry about that shit, though. We'll get to it. Yeah, because then we're gonna place like stones and shit. You'll see. It'll look really good. It's gonna take time to build the map, right? Like we've only been working on the game what 2-3 hours now, and we already have half the systems done. So we got cheering spectators. They'll come and reset your car when you crash at a certain point. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about the shader mode. We have still have to bake the lighting and stuff, right? So yeah, but we got cam swap. We're gonna work on the first person character controller. So actually, speaking of that, let me go over into the visual and then make that here. Let me see if I still have one in my folder. Let's search for it. Okay, so I got one when you press tab, it'll switch you over into the FPS. So, oh yeah, yeah, we got to go back in because we didn't finish that script. So here's our first person controller. And you guys, I'll open this up in OBS so you can see it. Oh yeah, you can. What you can do with this is you press tab and you can switch to any other controller. So if you, excuse me, if you use this script, you can, if you have like a car controller and a first person character controller and you want to switch between the two, use this script. That's all you have to do. I'll set it so once it switches to FPS controller, it detaches from the car, right? Because you don't want to swap views like 10 miles away. So and I'll show you how to set that up. It's not overly complex. So we'll close off all the terrain, the car stuff here. What we'll do is we'll add a new game object, and what we're going to call this is FPS. So this is going to be your FPS controller. That's your game object, and another thing we need to have is a camera in the FPS controller. We're going to bring this up now. Over. And what we have to do as well is add a collider, a kinematic collider to be precise. I'm going to show you how to do that too. So we got that, and then what we're going to do is add a capsule collider, and this is going to be our body, and that'll be our height. And just make sure you take the camera and you bring it up to where your head should be, so about there, right? So that's going to be our first person character controller. You want this to be with scale to your car as well. And when you press tab, once I add the script, you should be able to switch between third person and first person controller. I think this is still compiling. We'll give it a minute. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the controller script and go down and paste the new little block I made there. Just shortened it up a little bit. And now you should be able to choose which. This should take a little bit of tinkering around with. We'll get it though. We did it multiple times already, so. And now we have to and from controller, right? From controller is one, and the list to two. So from controller, game object. Oh, it's just called FPS. There it is. So, oh, sorry. Now we want to go from controller. We want to select buggy, and then to controller, we want to select our FPS. Now we should be, I don't know which one this is going to automatically start us with, but either way, when we press tab, we should be able to go to first person view. Or sorry, first person control. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. So what I'm actually going to do is delete that and revise the script a little bit, because like I said, it's going to be a bit tricky because we do have multiple cameras in here, and I may have to class it within the vehicle script as well. Okay, so we'll go back to that game object again. We'll create an empty game object, and then we'll go to our first person. This will be the swap script. So I forgot to do something when we did the last one. Is I didn't even create the first person script, so we didn't even have a controller to switch to. It's my fault. So right here we have first controller and second controller, right? But now I gotta make the controller. Okay. I'm going to game object. Now I can create another script. Call this FPS controller player. And then open it. And we're going to get that in there. Now I'm going to paste this script onto the game object, right? This is the character controller script. So I believe I add this onto my characters, and then I want this script here. So this is going to run it. This container will run that. And then another thing we're going to have to do is bring this up and add a camera to it. So we'll just bring that down here so we have it close to us. Okay, yeah, we have an empty. And then we need now to have a camera for this. So what I'm going to do, like I did last time, is create another camera, drag that into there. Okay. We definitely want this camera over here. we'll just put that there just to see if it just flicks into the view or whatever it may be. And I'm pretty sure I dropped those other ones onto the other. And then we need to add the component for our controller. Oh, I already have it. Should have inspector options in here though. So that's FPS controller. And then we want the other controller, first controller. So we find the first camera. I guess it'll have to be between swapping these. We'll have to try to swap them. And then what was that other camera's name again? W? No, that was main. And then we want this camera, which is just camera. And then second controller will be just camera. What game object? 2, I'm assuming? Alright. Well, let's try it. It might break. Yeah, it broke. I knew it. That's okay, so we'll just delete that for now. This is the FPS controller. This is the character switcher. I think that's the one that's giving us issues here. Okay, and we'll set this character controller up in a few minutes. And yeah, we'll get in swapping. Because we had that on our other 2 games too. We could get in and out of our car. And we had that working first. I should have done that first, but that's okay. So let me just jump back over into the thing. I need to get rocks, man. We need stones. Okay. I think I found some stones. Download, and I'm going to import it. And then we'll finish up that first person script there. That way we can get in and out of our car and go buy car parts. Oh, wow. Okay, now we should have some stones and stuff like that. Some basic rocks. Prefabs. And we get some stones and shit, right? We can put these like in the terrain. Right? See what I'm doing? A little bit better. We got our rally cars. We got the stones in there. So, like, yeah, if you weren't here. Oh, what did we do? We break something? It's C4 buggy fuel torque is assigned, but the value is never used. That shouldn't be true. So, I think that's conflicting with our FPS controller. I think we had an assembly error. There we go. Yeah, so that was the problem. I was calling it wrong, so that's fine. So yeah, we got this. Should have a first-person character script. Yeah, it's gonna be rough until I get a better terrain gun, right? Oh, it's stick keys. No, get off. Yeah, and we'll add better slip to the rear wheels and stuff like that, right? But yeah, that's coming along. Right here is a bit of a sculpt issue, though. Well, most of it. It's just not good enough. Same with over here. We'll flatten that out. Look. Yeah, we'll just leave it as so until we're ready to do like the hard sculpting, right? Because we'll probably just export it, bring it into Blender, subdivide it, and get some really nice sculpting done, right? Because I don't have half the tools I need inside of Unity, unfortunately. Yeah, you make rocks out of rocks, bro. Very easily. So you can just take a rock, you can rotate it like that, stick it in the ground, paste one, a bit more narrow, stretch it up. That, right? Stones on it. Yeah, we'll get smaller rocks so I can dot out the outline of the track where there's a bit of an obstacle, kind of like a grease, like the stage grease. Yeah, we'll bundle it all so it doesn't take up like any space. I'll show you how to do all that some other time. We're just building a little test stage. This is nothing to do with any of the stages because we're going to be basing them off real world. We're just getting something with a few assets in it to test out shaders and stuff like that because we are going to be making a shader for it, right? We want the reflections and stuff like that, kind of like we have almost going here, right? It's not nearly good enough, right? And we're going to enable RTX. So just got to figure out how to do that in Unity exactly. Let me just make sure that bump in the road is gone. Yeah, there's a lot of wobble. We can fix all that with the stiffness of the suspension and so forth, but we'll do that on another day. It's so easy to do, right? And you'll have options in the game to do that. It'll look great because then we can just export most of the things and get them into UE5. So I'd like to use the dirt physics in that. It's really good. These are just placeholders, yeah. But that's the car we have so far. We got the lights. We got all that jazz, man. We are cooking loud. We got most of a game done, so we got to set a player start as well. I could probably use some better textures. We did download some newer textures, so I just want to see if they actually made it in. We got new skyboxes down here and everything, so that's good. We'll make one, right? Because I don't like to have that end. We have a sun. Where's the sun? We do have a sun in the scene. I'm pretty sure it's in the back corner of the level. It always starts there. And that's why it's not giving us that proper feel that we're looking for here. Because we could easily just go to window and go to rendering, lighting, environment, and then set a new skybox. That one looks really nice. Now we just gotta wait for it to build the lighting again, right? Yeah, it does that every time for some reason. I gotta find tape though. Yeah, just looking for a piece of tape at the moment. Yeah, I need a piece of tape or something. Take it off a poster, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, looks a little better. Not perfect. Got the fog we're looking for. That's that fog. See that fog across the line right there? It's okay. Come along real low. Save the project just like that. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to just like give everybody a time frame on when this could be, out there. Drop something. I don't know what the fuck it went though. I don't know what it is. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not sure what from. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, what? Oh shit, it dropped it again. I don't want to step on it later. Anyway. Yeah, I just gotta tape something up here and just doing some shit. I'm just shooting the shit tonight, man. Yeah, well, I went on the Richard Burns Discord thing. I was looking for some people that wanted to do get paid for some pace notes, but every time I showed people the game, they thought that was comical. They can go fuck themselves. They was making it in there for that community, but since they're all cockheads, then they could pay me for it. They will. They'll see. Yeah. Yeah, we can change the tires, and I got way cooler tires. What I was doing with these, though, was testing the mesh to see if I could just get the mesh to act as grip. That's just starts to look really stupid by the time you can get it to actually work. But yeah, I got way better tires. I got Pirelli, everything. So there's one problem with making a game like this, right? And it's licensing, okay? So that's why I'm probably just gonna make it a free game. I just hope I don't get sued for it anyway. If not, then it's just, a little cool project you can download for fun. Simple. I make money doing 3D modeling. I do 3D printing, right? I have a 3D printing business. So. Yeah, you're welcome to Boss Poses, man. The same channel everywhere. Just Google Boss Poses, you'll find everything. I have good SEO, so it's always like at the top. There's no other Boss Poses either, right? Oh yeah, man. You guys, my community on YouTube, you fucking damn right you're getting the game. You can. I'm glad some of you are still here from the first stream. Remember when we were making a low poly game and we're like, wait, we could just redo Richard Burns. And now look at us. You already got other bodies and stuff. I could easily swap that out. I could show you how easy in Unity that really is to get out. So let me find. It's labeled Polo really stupidly. Oh right. Get rid of the terrain. And we're gonna go buggy Polo 1. So this is just a mesh, right? So for example, I could just turn that mesh off. And this will give us a good time to align these, so when we swap out bodies and stuff like that, we'll have something better. Yeah, this body's a bitch, though. It never imports with the correct origin for some reason. Like, you can easily just, like, do something like that. It's clearly not good enough, but... Like, for example, if I go under, you'll probably be able to tell. Yeah, see how it's a little off? right? And then all we have to do from that body is take this new bod, and then we can just drag that into buggy. Because the buggy is the suspension system. Yeah, these won't look good at all. We'll change the placement of the wheels, so like we'll set colliders, so like when we do the swapping, it knows where everything is, right? But for example, like I'll just show you, we could just easily, if we wanted to play with something else, you know. It obviously looks so stupid right now, but ow. Oh, what the fuck? Why can't I? Oh yeah, there's so many other objects in there. I forgot. That's a big problem in Blender, by the way. I did this for another tutorial to show you what happens if you don't make everything one object. You will get that. Oh, that's what the car should be. Not something like that. It's because we don't have the rigid body on, so it doesn't have weight like the other car did. So you see, the wheels aren't aligned yet. It's because we haven't set it to. But yeah, so what we can actually do is just shove that back over here, and then what we can do is come back into our Polo one and just re-enable it. Right, and then we have our other car. So that's going to be the box, like I was saying. I forgot to do something and put this box, this collider box, on the actual body and not the car. So I need to remove that. Because what I need to do is not put that on the body of the car, but the chassis of the car. So the chassis will determine where the body sits on the car, right? Very simple. Yeah, we could use this one too. Citron, baby. See, we can almost get the shader out of it. It's not the best, right? Usually tell me and stuff like that. And we'll fix all the definition. Yeah, we got new. We were supposed to have better. Right. Here's. Huh. Fine, rock, scene, script, sky. Yeah, okay, yeah. I just gotta re-import them. Yeah, we have bump map. We have PBR textures, right? Don't make the terrain look a lot better. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean with the grass, though, right? So if I go to paint trees, add tree, we can then find an object, but this time we're gonna go grass. We're gonna add it. Check the random, just double check it. And yeah, brush settings, density. Now, when we paint, we should be painting grass. Oddly, it's not painting the grass. Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, it's strange I didn't paint it. I can probably just use this, though, the details. Oh, yeah, we can just add a grass texture. I thought I had a couple. Yeah. Yeah. See, now we have grass. But see how it parallax scrolls? We don't want it to do that. We'll fix all that eventually. We can just paint out the grass, see? Very easy. But yeah, we'll use better grass for that. Like, for example, if I selected the grass, we should be able to change the... Yeah. Scale density. And when we paint, we should have higher density on it. Yeah, but it's as easy as adding grass like that. But when we get a track, we'll finally do that. But it's good that we have like a placeholder grass for now. I don't know exactly why this bush has a box collider on it. I noticed that just now. It's interesting. Whoever made that asset, oh yeah, it's a tree, I think, and we just stuck it under the ground. But whoever made that asset pack really didn't have a good understanding of how to do it, but that's okay. Yeah, we're gonna move all these trees. Don't look at that shit, right? We'll fix it. Yep. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock, man. It's my smoke time, bro. Canada, baby. Yeah, like I said earlier, like why smoke pot in the middle of the day? It burn you right out. And smoke at night when you can start relaxing. That's how we built the other game. Yeah, we do. We have most of the exact same systems we had last time. So, like for example, we have regions for our paste notes right here, so we can actually just get a couple more of those in. There's that other one. Oh yeah, right there. So we can actually just take this one. So I'll show you. We'll make a sound in FL Studio. I was gonna pay one of the RBR community guys to do the paste notes. I was gonna pay him $100. Man. Read a couple lines on a piece of paper. Gain some respect in the community. But no, they're a bunch of fucking cockheads. So. Oh, he's just a terrible thing. I don't know. Well, I went in there and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm like basically trying to remaster the game." There's a couple people that are like, "Oh, that's so cool," but then there's a few people that are laughing and then picking my YouTube apart, showing things that had nothing to do with the game. It's like, all right, if you're gonna be like that, then you get nothing, absolutely nothing, because you will want it. I promise you that. And we'll put another paste note here. Yeah, these are all paste notes, so I can label these as paste notes, right? So that's your start. You'll get the first couple calls, like flat. Then we'll go over jump. And they're going to be like a hairpin right and then hairpin left widens, something like that. It's easy. And then, well, what I'll do is I'll create like an extra UI where you can go top down view and you can place your own paste notes like this. And I think that'll be cool. So basically how I'll make that is like a system. You'll have all your paste notes here on the side in a little box, and you can drag them onto these greetings, whatever you want to call them, and then you can set how early and late you want them to be called, or you can set that in game with the car. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could, right? So, right? I guess it'll give you a good time, but like you're gonna see, it's because this guy has his thing all fucked up. Like they're gonna come up really small. See? They come up really small because that's the way the guy origined his model. So it's like really annoying. So it's gonna be really hard to paint those. Those are supposed to be trees, I think. Yeah, we'll get rid of those packs. We'll clean up everything, man. We're gonna clean up everything. We can even probably give this terrain a little bit better of a texture as well. So if we go to texture, add, you see here's some definition maps right here. That's what I was talking about, bumps. Okay, this one has a grass. This one seems to have a bump map. Let's test it out. It's not well defined, but yeah, I have. I've released a game on Steam before with another, like a team though. You know, it's like it wasn't exactly my project. It was called Worlds Adrift. It's actually a really good survival game. I love that game. Yeah, that was before I was doing modeling though and stuff like that. I did audio. Yeah, I was an audio producer before I did all this. Hey, you can see my music on Spotify. So, yeah. Modern, welcome. Yeah, we'll get really precise sculpting methods when we get inside of Blender. Yeah, it gives you a little bit different. Yeah, there's a lot of fog, eh? We can change all of that though in the lighting settings. I'm just trying to get a little definition to the ground. Just trying to get a nice single little area. I just need a small area with at least 20 pace notes to really get the game going. Once I can do that, I can just use the same little template, right? And we can just create some like mountains or something in the background. I don't know. Which will eventually look like mountains and hills and stuff. We can just change the opacity because we do have to add a roughness to the track, so we'll use one of these alphas. And that should give us a bit of a bumpy road. It might be a little too bumpy. That's about right. Yeah, we can give it a test. Why not? Oh, the other body's moving with us. I forgot to disable it. That's okay. Oh. Yeah, I forgot to take the other body out. Where is it? Yeah, so all you have to do is take this and just pull it out. There we go. Now when we drive, that stupid body shouldn't be following us. Splendid. Yeah, let's tweak out that fogging issue there real quick. So yeah, we'll leave the fog on 0.0. Like that. Turn down the lighting. Something like that. See, that looks a lot better. I think we just had too high of an exposure. Oh yeah, dude, that looks way better. Yeah, it looks really good. Oh, I get stuck in the hole. Yeah, I gotta add rigid body, so I'll let fix it and add the trees. Yeah, I'll fix this, the clunking around you here. That's the body hitting the ground and stuff like that, because what I plan on doing is adding the damage that'll break parts off your car. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy. I'll show you in Blender. You just cut the model up, re-import it, add it right as I showed you how to swap the body. Yeah. That's just pretty much all you have to do, really. And cut it up and then add the script. So basically, when it collides with another rigid body, it will enable the rigid body on your car, giving it physics, which will just break off. And it'll be traveling at the same speed you're going, so it'll go flying off, right? And it should happen instantly. Instantly. Right on collision. Yeah, I know. It kind of looks like Richard Burns right now. I know, right? That's the idea. Try that. I just want to see how bumpy it is. I can tell by looking at my suspension. Oh, it's a tough hairpin. I love hairpins. Ah, yeah, I'll widen that out. And I'll push the camera a little closer to the car. And I want it to return. So what I was thinking about doing is adding a collider to the front of the car also, an empty one, and an empty one to the back to simulate the weight. It already has great weight. Like, it feels really good. Like, I could play with a controller, probably. Yeah. And the funny thing is it plays like Richard Burns with a controller. You press forward on the joystick. Unless you have the RVR hub. Oh! Yeah, smoked that one, man. Yeah, but the controllers work great. Everything works, and even steering wheels, they should work great. Fantastic. Without an issue. No issues whatsoever. I know, right? It's like, the fuck? So we can even stamp the height with our one brush. We do want to make this a little bit more even, especially right here. Oh, it's stamp. What am I doing? Smooth. Now we should be able to make that hairpin, but what I can actually do from this point down. Ooh, that's deep. Holy shit. Yeah, so you can set it down like this, and then you could smooth it out, right? You have like a dip. Might be a little severe. Right? See, it's not bad, man. Like, for a couple of hours, this is what you can do, man. Like, you could build yourself a video game very easily. It doesn't have to look pretty right away. Worry about that later. Get the game made. Stop criticizing people for doing that, too. I hate when people do that. That's why that entire one community fucked itself. Yeah, I know, right? It's coming along, dude. Like, it really is. Yeah, we'll get a new texture on there as well. Like, I have some for rocks and stuff like that. I just don't think I added them into a layer here yet. I'm pretty sure I had a rock one. I thought I had a good one with a bump map I wanted to try, but I don't think I imported it. Because it's right here. See these rock textures? I want those rock textures. Something similar, right? So I could probably just click this. What you'll probably want to do is give it a nice gray layer. So we start with your blacks. And then we'll come in with some dirt. Get stones on it and shit. Yeah, it's supposed to be a sand pile. I mean, no, it wasn't making a cliff. I could do that by just using this fucking brush right here, right? Yeah, I was trying to make like, I was gonna make a desert, right? I don't know why I did this, but yeah, you're right. Alright, I'm back. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I DDoS'd myself somehow. Thank God I'm on a cloud computer. But, oh shit, now we gotta find out how to get back. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but like the view just locked. And it just started cruising me over the map. And I was like trying to talk to you, like, uh-oh. I think there's a problem. There was a problem. So that's good. At least now I'm back. Yeah, for some reason the internet connection kept dying and coming back on, but the router was still on. So weird, man. Yeah, I'm on a cloud computer, Shadow, right? So like even when my main internet goes out, everything that I'm still using is still active on the cloud, thank God. Because if that would have been local, I probably would have lost our recent save. Yeah, but sorry for that wait in case anybody was wondering where the hell I was. Yeah, that was why. I was just kind of waiting for that to come back through. Rock in. That. Yeah, we're just making like in case you weren't here when I was DDoS myself there, but if you weren't here when we did that, we got the car, we have pace notes, we have everything for a rally pretty much ready. We have these blocks here, you're probably wondering what those are. Those are spectators. If you crash, for example, into like say this tree, so I'll have to add a rigid body to that tree. So now when we hit the tree, it should stop us, right? So we'll go smack that tree, and these guys should push us back onto the track. They also cheer and jump for you when you get close. Oh my god! Oh, did I... I added the rigid body onto the terrain. I'm such a fool. There we go. So now when I hit this tree, it should flop over on us. Oh, and the tree fell through the damn map. Of course it did. I'll make it kinematic. That way it doesn't fall, doesn't use properties of gravity, but it is a solid. It was that tree, wasn't it? I think it's hitting the tree. Fuck it, did. Okay. Wasn't that one. Yeah, odd. Why isn't that rigid body working? Oh, use gravity. I'll just turn the gravity off, and now we'll see if we can plow it, because that's all it should... Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm an idiot. It's not a rigid body. What am I doing? Collider. And we want to set it to convex, so anything in this region will collide. It provides contact, even if we don't want to use a collider region. Yeah, now the tree's solid. Good. Oh yeah, I'll fix it all. Don't worry, don't worry. But another thing we're going to do to this bad boy is add some weight to the car by using other colliders. So that's a very easy thing to do, and I'll give you guys the scripts as usual for it. I need to figure out what these are. Oh yeah, okay, in the game objects, the Citroen cam swap. We have this object somewhere. I don't know where it is. We can actually delete the cam swap. I don't know what that is or how we did that. I don't know how I added a second terrain there. I don't need it. So this is just where we're going to go around and clean up. So we're going to get all the rocks and all the new pines. We're going to drag those into terrain. Ooh. Should be able to bring them into terrain at least. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. They're a full asset. Damn it. So we may have to be very easy on those rocks then. There we go. We got the pines in there. We don't need this grass. Not yet. We will be painting the grass. We need to get a better bump maps for the terrain. Of course, there's little stones outlining most of the roads in a rally, so... Yeah, we'll use a brush to paint them. I just need to get some visual representation on here. It's all about visual. Once you have, like, a thing, it really drives your ideas instead of just working with how we were before, just on a flat surface. It makes it really hard to determine what you're trying to get. Or trying to do. I find. That's just my experience with it. Right, we just need this little section here, and then we can, once we build this, then we're good to go for building any track. So what we're going to do is, what I was thinking is creating a tool that will, this will probably only work in Unreal Engine 5, unfortunately, but I can make a tool, I can script up a tool that will scan, because you can use dash cams on the WRC YouTube videos, and you can see them like from a first-person view. And we can use those to scan the road that's being in front of them. We'll have to set a color and opacity and stuff like that. And it will detect that through the whole stage it goes through. And it will actually calculate all the bends and turns, right? But I just try to figure out a way to set the scaling. That way it doesn't just, so far away. 30 miles, you really don't want to be actually 30 miles in the game. Yeah, we got some new cars. We got all this. I could just replace the windows, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, these windows you can still see through. It's just we don't have the reflect map on it. And this will be like a view for your simulator. Yes, you can use VR. I'll make this VR very easily. I'll show you how to do that too. So let me actually just go to this camera and set the offset a little closer. I can do this in real time, so... Well, where is our other camera? What is going on here? So let's disable this camera, because it should be looking at this camera. I don't know why it's not looking at that camera. Oh, I don't think I can change the script right on here. I'll have to add it to an empty game object to do that. That's okay. Yeah, because I want to bring it up and closer, right? So... here's the camera. Now we will hit play and then do it that way. Now we will be able to change it in real time and get a better increment of what we're doing. So right here at the sign, if I set my Y, I can bring the camera up, see it? And then Z, bring the camera in. Yeah, there's a lot of bumps and bangs. Yeah, I'll go smoothing that out because that is kind of annoying. Yeah, I was just playing around with the brush over here. Just smoothing that out for now. We'll worry about all the definitions shortly. Another thing I want to do too is we can do this. Stamp. I think it's the stamp. And we're going to go uphill now. Opacity. And that's our stamp height, right? We don't want to stamp it that high yet. I think if we're at a lower value, we need to have more opacity. What am I doing? Set height. Yes, we're going to go up. So you'll see, you'll see. Yeah, and then we're going to go up again. Bring this to 40 now. Yeah, it's because we're using a stupid A alpha brush that you keep seeing those little bumps and grooves. That's okay. You kind of want them. Okay, now we have something like that, right? We want to get that smoothened. We want to go up the hill, of course. Use this for around the edges. Kind of clean it up, right? Oh yeah, I'll stamp it again. I'll stamp it even further, right? We just want to see if we can get up the damn hill. It's important. We'd like to raise this up a little bit. That, right? And that's going to go up. We'll make it like a big hill or something you can hill climb, like Pike's Peak we could easily do. But that's why I want to do this in Blender, because I have really, really fine sculpting tools in Blender. The things I'm used to sculpting with. I mean, like, they're really good tools. Tools I really wish I could just import into Unity, but we might just export the map, subdivide it, sculpt it, re-import it as an FBX. I think that's the most efficient way to do it. Because the reason why I wanted to sculpt a certain area like this to start with is so when I bring it into Blender, I know the scale. Because I don't want to go into Blender and paint a track and have the track like 5,000 feet wide, right? I want it to be this wide. So if I see these textures inside of Blender, I'll know that these are about the width of the car. Yeah, and we can stamp this. I think it was stamped. Like that, and we can bring this up to like even 60. There's a bit of stepping going on there. Whoop. Might be a little too steep for right now. So what we'll do is revert that. I'll actually stamp it a little higher at a time, right? Stamp. Side. 45. We'll just stamp that. This way we can just make like steps, right? We'll just step it up. If I was in Blender, I could have had this done already. Whoa! I don't know what happened there. There we go. We'll come around there. That. We should start to have some stepping, right? So now we're starting to build a bit of a course. So it's starting to come along, man. We can even add like really big rocks to the side of the mountain if you really wanted to, right? Cliffs. You can make them flat. You know, you can do some pretty cool stuff. Etc., etc., right? We'll just leave that there for now, though. But let's just see if we can even get up the damn hill. That's the main concern. That's why when I do this in Blender, I'll have specific coordinates written down. But yeah, these shaders look really good so far. Oh well, I'll just go around. If we can get up it. Oh yeah, I disabled the other script. Yeah, it works great. Oh yeah, I'll give you guys roll transfer and stuff. What is that, water? Water's a good idea. I want to add water like in here. Oh yeah, dude, it feels really good to play. Welcome back too, man. Yeah, thanks for rejoining, dude. You're a cool motherfucker, man. I loved having you in the last streams. Good shit, man. Yeah, look what we got. Okay, so we redid the whole fucking thing we were doing last time, bro. And we got something way better now. Let me just run it for you. I didn't enable the other camera, but we have the camera swap to go into your other view. I'll just show you. See the crowds cheering and stuff? Yeah, the shaders look a lot better than what we were using before. And obviously nothing has colliders yet. Like, that's just fun. That's just already fun. We're already doing something right, which is great. know, some stuff like that. Oh, it's not your fault those guys are dickheads, man. I don't care. If they don't want the game, that's fine. I just figured I'd join the community to see if they would be interested, right? But no, I guess everyone's a salt bag in that community, so I'll just sell it to you instead of giving it to y'all for free. You, Richard Burns community guys on Discord. All the other people will get it for free. Why? Because that's the power I have with my stuff. And that's what you all get for being giant cockheads. So yeah, fuck you too. Hell yeah, dude. We're getting a game on. Fuck yes. I want off of the terrain brush. Yeah, so yeah, in case you weren't here when we were, was showing y'all, we have a new system. Instead of using the wheel colliders, we're using this suspension system in an axle system. Way better, man. Fucking way better. Tested on multiple vehicles, and it's way better. Way, way, way better. Variety, yeah, that's what we're missing here, right? Some variety. Oh yeah, we'll paintbrush them all on, right? I just want to get like a nice little section to demo. That way shitty Richard Burns community people don't have to like, shit on something before they actually fucking see it. Dude, now they'll shut up. Yeah, let me get that smoothened out. I don't know. I think it's just some people are really salty when you do better than they do. I think that's what it is. Yeah, you're reading that, eh? It's like, what the fuck? Schizo posting is what they called it. It's like, dude, I'm responding to 50 of you. Then how about you tell your schizo people to stop talking to me? Like 50 of you at once. 50 of you. And you guys like, oh, you can only answer one person every hour. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Just to give it some depth, yeah. Well, I had a bunch of shit down there. You can get some big rocks, man. Like shale plates sticking out. Yeah, give it a little definition, right? So far we got a little track. That's cool. Now we can just start working on the systems again, like our first-person controller, because remember, we're going to be able to get out of our car, and we're also going to be able to buy parts from a shop. So we can actually define a region that you can drive into, and then you can be able to get out of your car, because you obviously don't want to be able to get out of your car on stage, right? So I'll make sure that can only happen when you're in a specific region. Yeah, we have colliders for everything. So like what I was saying, colliders don't necessarily have to be a collision object. You can use these as like an invisible zone. And when you enter the zone, you got it. I should make a layer called terrain as well and put the terrain on it. That way we can add a physics material. Like we have dirt right here, right? And we can set our friction and stuff like that. But we have a lot of friction on our wheels already, so we're going to go in and lighten that so we get more of that slide of Richard Burns, right? And I want a tighter hairpin too. I want that back to really swing. And I think the way to do that is to add or to simulate weight on both ends of the car. So which side is the car is your engine on, and you'll be able to choose that, and I'll add two colliders and it'll apply the mass to that collider. It's just if you have too much mass on one side of it, you know, the whole fucking thing just flips around and shit, so. Yeah, exactly. It's to prevent the bottlenecking, right? That's... I don't think we can put the pines in the terrain. Oh, yes, we can. Good. I don't know what the WWER was. Oh, yeah, that was this car. Right. Yeah, it's not bad, eh? You just got some geometry issues right here. If I didn't bind it all as one object, we'd be able to use it. And I got this one here, but again, we have to go into Blender and fix that. Easy. And same with this in the window. It's the same on this car, but we want it to be like this. So if I select it, you see you have your default material shader standard, and then if I go over to this window, do that. Yeah, but that's that. And we can set the car also to global illumination. Global illumination. So now we might have a better shadow cast on the car, which would be nice. And we'll create, yeah, that looks way better. And then what we'll do is we'll create some new trees. I didn't enable the FPS script. I'll show you guys that later on. Oh, fuck. I forgot I fucked that part of the trailer. We got some work to do on that. That's why I want to do it in Blender if I can really get it done. I was making some Richard Burns maps earlier. I'm stuck. I made a new tool so people can export Richard Burns maps a lot easier. Yeah, I made it refined. I took the same one, the exporter, but I just redid some of the code to make it better. You know, less work that needs to be done to do the most mundane thing. No, I didn't share it on the community at all. Fuck that. They don't get shit, bro. Yeah, I'm probably gonna smoke a bowl here in a minute. I do gotta put something in the stove here in a second. I'm starving. I'm fucking starving, man. Yeah, we got all this. We got some hills to test and stuff like that, right? And we're gonna go way up, way up, way up, way up. We'll change the elevation and stuff. I'll show you how to do all that. We just needed to set this. Like, for example, earlier we set the terrain, I don't know, probably just looked pancakey. Let's go all the way to the edge. That was our original height, so we had to stamp the height all the way up. That way we can go down and up and down and up, right? So we're not on a plane. We're on a really fixed surface. Yeah, because I'm going to add terrain deformation. There's a good plugin for it. I just got to pick it up and test it out a few times. But yeah, you have to do that to get the terrain to deformate. So what it's going to do is wear out under the tires, but there's also a script I need to make for the tires to cut out of the terrain. It needs to be in contact, and it needs to have friction. The friction is what kicks it up. And dust. There's another particle. I'm pretty sure we have those on our wheels. We want to global illuminate everything. Where the fuck are these windows? Oh, that's weird. But yeah, no, that looks a lot better with the shader, right? Looks a hell of a lot better. Taking some screenshots for some people, and I gotta save the project here really quickly. Das Auto. Yeah, these are for the suspension. That's not a part of the car. Yeah, the suspension's like a V suspension. Right? It's a really good system. Yeah, it's a lazy Sunday, man. What can you do, right? I might jump over into Richard Burns here and crunch some more records. I got spot 72 on one of the tracks. Though. It's just the problem I have with Richard Burns is every time I install the maps, I can never fucking find the maps. You know, it's the ones that you actually have installed. So it's in a clusterfuck of garbage. And some of the maps are like 2 gigs, dude. It's like, holy. And they don't even look good. No, EA WRC's worse, bro. That game's actually comparable to RBO graphically. I found Generations looks beautiful, man. I was playing that the other day. The textures of the tire marks. That's one thing we got to make sure to do as well. Is we're gonna make a new texture brush. No, no. So as you see, it's kind of the same one. You can kind of see the pattern that it continues, and it's not that clear. Let me just check my email. I got a little message here somewhere. I don't know how I sold that much models overnight. I checked yesterday at 800 points on Creality Club. That's now 19. We paid about $20 with my models. Rocks and boulders. Yeah, I'm just looking at some better rocks and textures, right? We need some bumps. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Surface gradient. Bump mapping samples. But those are just samples, though. Let me see what samples are in there. Yeah, we're gonna have to mess around in the shader graph because this guy has some really good shaders, man. Yeah, we'll mess around in the shader graph probably in the morning or something. We probably won't piss around with that tonight. Yeah, exactly. We probably won't fuck with that tonight, the shader graph, because what we have right now looks relatively nice for now. But we do have to get the RTX on and stuff like that. And I'm gonna probably smoke some pot before I go to bed, scratching my little notebook down. I have a notebook from when we started about 3 weeks ago, right? So, yeah, and it's real time now, so like all the chatters can chat, and I can actually get the. Yeah. But yeah, like so far so good, man. We're making some really good progress. I'm very happy with what we have already. And this will be like the second time we've restarted this project, so and this will be like the one that we actually bring to the end. This one is going to be good. Because what I'll show you too is how we can export this map into Blender and then refine it in there, or even just make the map in Blender. So it's going to be an FBX, right? And then the one thing I want to figure out is if the terrain deformation system works with the FBX mesh, or if it has to be a Unity. Because I imagine it's utilizing the Unity editor when it's deformating the thing. It's probably like using your tires as a brush and sculpting the terrain under it, which is something we could probably make happen. But I kind of want to do that for Blender and then get some more add-ons onto the Blender market. People love my Fixamo 2 add-on. Yeah, things been going really well with that, so I'm happy, very happy. Yeah, I'm just thinking here. I'm gonna I'm just move the bowl here in a second, grab a drink, and then we're gonna continue. It's not that clear, right? We want some really nice texture. So we may jump into Blender and start messing with some stuff. We do need to fix these. In the other body, I have a Subaru as well. Preza, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to get my hands on a Yaris. I may have to model it myself. A Yaris is an incredibly hard model to find on the internet. Same with the Hyundai i20. I want the big ones, you know what I mean? And I want a Skoda as well. I love the Polo GT. That's why I added this into that. I love that car. Yeah, I'll have classes, right? So I'll show you how I'm gonna tackle that later on, the class system. So you'll have like WRC and stuff like that, but that's another licensing problem. You know, it's just like, I don't exactly know how to tackle this without getting in big shit. That's the thing. I don't know if it'll matter if I don't sell it or not, but I'm still pretty sure that I'll have a big problem. So what I'm probably going to do is take some screenshots and stuff, and I'm going to send it to them, and then I'll see what they say about it. Yeah, do it all the time, man. Like, if you have a question about a company, just send them what you're doing and your idea, and they will reply to you. Like, it's not like you're waiting for Jesus to respond, you know? Yeah, no, this tree just has a collider on it. Like, I'll just turn the convexing off. And I'll just make it provides contact, so it still provides contact. Because we only really need the most solid part to do that. And this part's going to go up. We'll create some more terrain definition in here. Yeah, there's a brush. That's a better brush to use. That might be a little severe. Yeah, give it a little definition. See, now we got some rolls in the hills and stuff like that. Dip. Another little hill. We can make it kind of like a jump, you know? Just kind of that. I think we'll just leave it like that for now. We'll smoothen that out just slightly. Oh, fast. Let's get it go up. Like that. Yeah, see, now we got some definition in the terrain. Yeah, we'll work on like the bigger bumps and jumps and stuff like that when we get further into it. We have no need to worry about that right now. Need to get a track. That way we can finish the systems. Like I said, once we have the systems down, then we'll be able to play at our free leisure. We're not playing yet. Like that. Fix that a little bit. It's a little violent to the dip. Something like that, right? So then we got something that looks more like a path. This looks really ugly there, so I'm gonna fix that. Yeah, so that looks pretty nice. Ooh. Yeah, Unity's really relying on their opacity brush. That's relatively new too. They used to have a way better terrain system in the older versions of Unity. At least I thought. That's where I actually learned how to start sculpting this inside of Unity. I really like their old system. They had really good methods with shaders too. So we're probably gonna piss around with that shortly too. It's the shader. So we want to get some reflections out of all this. Because so far this looks really good. It's on par with Richard Burns, that's for sure. If not, looks a little bit better. Yeah, so far so good, man. I'm happy. I ain't complaining about anything. But what I'm probably going to do is take a little break. I'm going to go get some dinner done. I may be back on by 11 p.m. Eastern, so I am in Canada. If not, I will return on tomorrow in the afternoon around 12 p.m. in the afternoon there. So you can always find me usually at the same time. And we're going to continue, and then we're going to really start pounding out some levels, a main menu, and all that fun stuff. But thank you all for tuning in for this little build of a new game we're going to start here. And yeah, I hope you all have a great night. Take care.